Hello, we're back. It's gonna be a shorter stream, but we'll see how short. Just one day, we'll see how it goes. Admittedly, I feel like I'm a little out of the loop after a whole bunch of other streams that I was doing. So I'm gonna actually have to double check. I don't remember if this is actually at the end of day 13, or I remember we were in the middle of like it being very confusing. But we'll see how we go. Okay, time to start my lesson. First, though, is anything broken? Wait a second, let me check this. How the heck are we still on day 12? Okay. I still think this is wrong because of how the days worked. I'll probably have to adjust this in my titles. This is probably gonna be day 13 then. We'll call this day 13, just for simplicity. You know, otherwise, like if I'm actually keeping track of the true days, then it's like confusing and we'll see. Okay. That's how she began. It's kind of an odd question to ask the moment I arrive. Huh? Broken? Like what?
だから動かない箇所はないかって聞いてるの。あれだけめちゃくちゃしたんだから神経が焼き切れるのは分かってるのよ。
A nerve or two?
まあそんなのはどうでもいいんだけど、体のどこに異常があるのかぐらい知っておかないと授業にならないから。
No, we still don't know what's healing him. According to Tosaka, some parts of me should be numb. But since I'm the one living in my body, I can say she's wrong. I'm the one living in my body. Nope, everything works fine. Headache and fever are gone now that I've had a night's sleep. I feel fine.
はあ、そんなわけないでしょ。セイバーの剣を投影したのよ。あんなの腕一本維持してもおかしくない芸当じゃない。
It wasn't her sword, though, so that's not necessarily true, right? But I told you I'm fine. Besides, if my body wasn't working, I wouldn't have been able to carry Ilya back to the house, and at that point, the only thing wrong with me was a headache and a fever.
嘘よそんなの。シロ、ちょっと腕見せてみなさい。
She tugs on my arm before I can reply, then stares at it. I realize I'm holding my breath. I may have gotten used to her being around, but I'm definitely not used to her being so close.
本当に異常はないみたいね。焼き付いた跡かな。あざみたいに黒くなってるところはあるけど、他は完全に修復されてる。いえ、治ったというより、ようやく生え変わったってとこかしら。
Tosaka mutters quietly to herself as she inspects my arm. Hey. As if that weren't enough to leave me beet red.
ふざけた体ね。これ、例の自然治癒による回復じゃないわよ。シローの自然治癒は明らかに外部からの働きかけだけど、こっちはあなた自身の治癒能力だと思う。
Rin lifts my sleeve up, pressing her fingers all along my arm. Hey, stop that, Tosaka. Go sit back down if you're done.
ん？何よ。こっちはあんたの体を見てあげてるっていうのに。って。はは
ん。Tosaka leans closer to me.
熱は下がったって言うけど、まだ十分ありそうじゃない？シロ、顔が真っ赤よ。
But that's for me to worry about. It's none of your business, so leave me alone.
そうなんだ。関係ないんなら、私がこんなことしても影響はないわけよね。
What? Don't put your hand on my forehead. I don't have a fever, so there's no point to this.
ええ、そうみたいね。今度は耳まで真っ赤だもの。熱っていうより酔っ払ってるみたい。
She's doing this on purpose. This is deliberate. I know it. Tosaka, you know exactly what you're doing, don't you?
ああ、バレた？シローがあんまりにもベタな反応するから、ついからかっちゃった。
Anyone who would toy with a man's innocent feelings like that should do their repentance in hell.
ま、冗談はこの程度にしといてあげる。あんまりからかうとミイラ取りがミイラになりかねないしね。
What's that mean? That's a problem. I feel like Tosaka's only teasing me harder now. Tosaka, might I remind you that this is serious and I'm here to learn from you?
あら、失礼ね。私だってそのつもりよ。今のだって教え子の状態を確認しただけだもの。
Oh yeah, so are you going to get to the day's topic then?
そうね。本題といっても私の専門外だからアドバイスぐらいしかできないけど、しないよりはマシだから。正直に言ってしまえばね、私があなたの力になってあげられたのは前回でおしまいなのよ。
Okay.
こんな短期間の授業で魔術は身につかない。私はただあなたが使ってなかったスイッチを取り付けただけ。それはわかる？
You mean that jewel? Yeah, ever since I swallowed it, I've been able to turn my magic circuits on and off without creating them from scratch every time.
そう、一朝一夕で教えてあげられたのはそれぐらい。けどそれだって今まで鍛えてきたものを表に出したに過ぎないわ。私はあなたが体で覚えた魔術を後押しすることしかできないし、他の魔術を教える気もない。だって才能ないもの、あなた。
How would she know? How would she know that he doesn't have the talent for it? Yeah, you being so blunt about that is enlightening. But you can at least give me some advice about magecraft that I can use, right? So tell me what kind of magecraft I used last night. Tosaka doesn't answer. She's just glaring at me like I'm her worst enemy. Tosaka, this is supposed to be lecture, right? I get nervous when you go all quiet like that. She looks away, frowning. It's only a brief flicker of her expression, though.
無理よ。私、投影魔術なんて使えないもの。自分が知らないものを教えられるわけないじゃない？
Huh? Something you can't do. Wasn't what I used against Berserker pretty basic for a mage? I just imagined a structure and let magical energy flow into it. It's no different than strengthening magecraft. But flooding your own magical circuits into something that's already formed is difficult. It's like adding what you think is red into an existing mixture of paint to draw out the red hue, only to end up with something completely different color. By comparison, it's much easier to work with my own paint from the very beginning. I can just draw out whatever I want that way. What do you mean you can't do it? I'm sure you can do that kind of thing. It's much easier than strengthening.
あんたね、今の他の魔術師に言ったら間違いなく殺されるわよ。あんたがやったのは投影で、かつ宝具を完全に複製していた。あそこまでできるフェイカーなんて私は知らない。
Chill runs down my spine. It's not my imagination. Tosaka is actually angry.
どうってことないわ。そんなことあんたの蔵を見た時からうすうす感づいてたんだから。今さらエミやシローに殺意を抱いても仕方ない。
Secret genius trope. Like, oh, you thought you were the worst mage, but actually you're beyond the best mages. I'm gonna have to look into, like, why does he have this power? Like, this projection power? Because, like, seemingly it's just innate to him. Which, I mean, based on what I've seen in other Fate properties, some people are just born different, so it's not even that crazy, technically. I mean, it is rare, of course, literally 1 in a billion type of stuff, but in this franchise, you meet those 1 in a billions pretty often.
勘違いしてるようだから言ってあげるとね。あなたがやったのは、実在する美術品とか名剣とか、そういったものを自身の魔力でイメージとして再現するっていう半端な魔術よ。大抵は儀式の際に使用する一時しのぎの代用品として使われる。イメージで編んだそれは当然架空のものとして認識されるからすぐに消えてしまうものなんだけどね。
Huh? I get that they're replicas created from a mental image. I saw a saber sword in my dream and imagined the golden sword based on it. I don't really get it. Magical energy is like clay, right? Reproductions or no, what you make shouldn't disappear once the object takes form, right?
そんなわけないじゃない。魔力ってのは自分の体の中でしか存在できないものでしょ。
I'm just thinking about, like, I've seen servants use projectile attacks. But I suppose that's true magic. Where and maybe they don't last forever, but they just last longer. But like magecraft maybe can't exist outside your body. I have to like think about like, is that normally how that works? But I guess that's where strengthening is a big deal, because technically it's going into another object, but you're still keeping it in an object, which is like not much different than how she does the jewels. You know, she puts her magic into another object that's still within an object, I guess. I mean, it's existing outside your body at that point, but okay, sure.
だから物に魔力を通したり、魔力をスターターにして自然干渉を行うんじゃない。そりゃあ私だって魔力を飴のようにこねて探検ぐらい作れるわ。けどそれで終わり。それは探検の形をした飴に過ぎないし、外に出した魔力は気化していくからすぐに消えてしまう。
We'll just trap the magical energy within harder magical energy that doesn't dissipate? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's quite accurate. It seems more complicated.
いい？魔力だけで作り上げたものは長続きしないものだし、あくまで形だけのものよ。まあ、その形だけのものを外見も性能もオリジナルに近づけるのが投影魔術らしいんだけど。
So I'm just going to throw it out here that it's really funny that we're learning about this right here after Archer is dead, who was clearly doing this. This is really funny, but they didn't show the fight against Berserkers, so you don't quite connect one-to-one that's what's going on. You just think, oh, okay, you know, he summoned a weapon. You know, that's no different than any other servant summoning a weapon, right? It's like, she's right. Magical energy has no shape. I can feel it while it's flowing through my body. Once it leaves, it sends out and eventually disappears entirely. But then, no matter how many blueprints I make in my mind and form with magical energy, everything will fade because it's all made from magical energy. Now that I think about it, when Kiritsugu was teaching me magecraft, I showed him my half-assed attempt at projection, but he told me to stick to strengthening because what I was doing instead was inefficient. Well, I mean, that was just probably as a kid. So he did learn a bit from Kiritsugu, because I thought that he didn't really learn that much from Kiritsugu. But I guess yeah, like even if it was only for a year or something. But yeah, I guess the big thing was that when Kiritsugu died, he said, Shiro said, "Oh, I'll take on your dream." But I thought like at that point, Kiritsugu was like, "Oh yeah, I'll teach you magic or something," and then he died or something. But no, I guess he was learning magic for a little bit before that. But I mean, it was, to be fair, it was inefficient because yeah, he was a child, so creating something from nothing was like not a good practice. Like strengthening was better practice for projection. That's my best guess. I see. So projection consumes a lot of magical energy, and there's no point in using it because what you make disappears immediately. That's true, right? So there's nothing stopping you from doing this as long as you just use more magic, but it is inefficient.
例えば10の魔力を使って剣を投影するでしょ。その場合、その剣の力はせいぜい3か4なのよ。人間のイメージなんて穴だらけだから、本物通りの複製なんてできないんだもの。対して10の魔力を使って剣を強化した場合、その剣の力は20にも30にも跳ね上がる。加えてその持続時間は投影の何百倍よ。
Okay. But you'd have to carry the sword around. But also it's really funny because what if you did projection and then strengthening? Now, you could argue, well, the sword isn't as good as it could be, but like, you know, what if you just were working on making the sword as good as it could be? You know, if you traced, let's say, a sword dozens of times, you know, like, you know, every day of your life, then you completely understand the structure of the sword. So then when you replicate it, when you project it, then you just created a perfect copy, because like it's literally in your mind perfectly. And then you strengthen it, so you can summon it and strengthen it, and it's very strong. I mean, obviously still not efficient, but if that's your method of attack, it's better than using a real sword where if it breaks, you're screwed. And also if you project a sword, then you can like maybe erase the sword, then move your arm and then summon the sword from a different direction or whatever, you know? Like, oh, I'm blocking you here, and then disappear the sword, reappear the sword behind your sword. Something, you know, not quite that, but, you know, something like that. Not far off. Or you can make any weapon you want. So there's that too.
わかった。投影魔術っていうのは今じゃ儀式の時にしか使われない
Rin
ものな
being
の。
dumb as usual. No, like, Rin is correct. It's just like, what if you specialized in this? And the thing is that mages aren't trying to be specialized in combat, and the ones that are trying to be specialized in combat are trying to be as efficient as possible. And not trying to be close hand fighters. So like, yeah. So it's reasonable.
道具が揃えられなかった時の代用品としてすぐに消える複製品を用意するための魔術に過ぎない。シローの父親が強化を教えたのは適切よ。ただでさえ魔術回路が少ないんだから、投影なんて無駄な魔術を教えたら一般人と変わらないもの。
I got that, but what was that then? The golden sword, I imagine, was real for a moment, and it even had the real sword's power. Huh, was it just a freak accident that I projected Saber's sword then? Now that I think about it, the amount of magical energy in that sword was remarkable. Replicating something that ends up with a few hundred times the magical energy I myself have does seem pretty weird. I assume that it's connected, though, to his relationship with Saber.
それはそのきっとシローは剣と相性がいいのよ。魔術師はそれぞれ属性を持ってるでしょ。
This is hilarious how like vague it is. Like, you like swords and mages have connections. So I guess I don't know.
あなたはそれが剣なんだと思う。
Is it swords or old weapons? Maybe. Ooh. Connections? You mean elements like fire and water?
そう。普通は世界を構
Oh,
成
yeah,
する
okay.
一元素を背負うものなんだけどね。魔術協会でも火はノーマル、風はノーブルって言われてるじゃない？
What? What? I've never even seen somebody use wind magic in the Fate series. Well, like not a mage, like servants, sure, but not mage.
治水火風空でもいいし、木火土金水でもいい。
Oh, okay. Well, I think in this case it'd be metal, right? I think that actually makes sense. Because like saying swords specifically, it's like, well, I don't know about that. But metal, oh, okay, sure. Ether is interesting. What would an affinity with ether mean? Maybe experiments or something? I don't know. Like a alchemy or something. Okay, look at this. It could be earth, water, fire, wind, or ether. Or it could be wood, fire, soil, metal, water. What? We said fire twice. And what's the difference between soil and earth? And then water and water? What? What's happening here? Like what?
このうちどれか一つを魔術師は持っているんだけど、中にはさらに分化した属性もあるわ。大抵そういう魔術師は中央には入れず、突出した専門家として名を馳せるらしいけ
Yeah,
ど。
most of the mages don't see any. Oh, this is all okay. Yeah. I'm getting some flashbacks from the El Malloy case files anime, in which the special thing about El Malloy is that he is a teacher who focuses on these type of mages. Every other teacher is like typical. You learn the elements, then you learn history, and you learn to use magic better, But El Malloy is like, wait, what are you good at? Okay, you're good at this weird shit that nobody respects you for. Well, what if you specialized in this? Would you just be amazing? And the answer is yes. And so like El Malloy like believes in unusual mages, whereas nobody else believes in unusual mages. And like actually those mages would be like very powerful. But at the same time, it's correct to be not respecting these unusual mages because they are less likely to be able to pass down their magic to their family line later on, because you know these are like, this is my personal magic. Okay, your children almost for sure won't have that affinity the way that you do to this. So you know that's what the Mages Association is more focused on, with continuing consistent magecraft down family lines. There's exceptions, but generally that's it.
それで言うなら白は剣よ。多様性はないけど、こと剣に関しては頂点を狙えるってこと。
The authority in swords. I see, that's probably true. I've always been fascinated with swords, even though you went and joined the archery club. Okay. Why didn't you join the kendo club? Now I'm curious about Tosaka's specialty. Knowing her, it's probably fire or wind or something else that'd suit someone like her. But I should probably just ask, since I'm curious. Hey Tosaka, what's your specialty?
私は五大元素っていう属性だけ
Yeah,
ど。
I've heard about this before. Does she mean all of them?
ともかく私が言えることなんてそんなものよ。
Yes, she means all of them. Like, I am good at everything. But I'm special. I'm Little Miss Special. Okay, Tosaka, have you ever used water or wind magic? Because I don't remember you ever using that stuff. I feel like I only see her use fire. Don't worry about it.
投影は虚影って言われるぐらい意味のないものだから、あまり多用はしないこと。それにね、セイバーの剣を模造するなんて、そんなのは自殺行為よ。あの時はうまくいったからいいものの、本来なら自滅していてもおかしくなかった。
I wouldn't have been surprised if you just exploded. Damn. I mean, I don't quite understand why that would make you explode though, because like, if you're like amassing a whole bunch of magic in your body to create this, I'd understand. But from what we can tell, Shiro is not doing any of this with magic efficiency or being super specific. He's like literally just doing this by intuition alone and not using much magic. Like he rarely is like getting exhausted from overuse of magic during battle. You know, like once he creates what he wants to create, it either works or it doesn't. That's kind of the strength and the weakness. Like either it's going to be really good or it's going to be useless.
あんたも言ってたけど、セイバーの剣の魔力はシロウの魔力のキャパシティを超えているのよ。それを複製するってことは、自分の魔術回路の限界を軽くオーバーしてるってわかるでしょ?
I think this was like possibly connected to Saber being connected to him, and therefore maybe she was able to provide him with magic to create the sword, and then like channeled her energy through the sword to fire off her noble phantasm. That's my guess. I'm not sure if this happens in the rest of this route, by the way. So we'll see. Yeah, I know, but it's not so easy to go beyond your own limits, right? I thought I couldn't go any further anyway because I was already at my limit to begin with. I mean, his limits weren't unknown because he wasn't even activating his circuits correctly.
いけるわ。だからこそ魔術師は死と隣り合わせなんじゃない。魔術が形式に沿ったものなら、知識さえあればどんな魔術だって行えるのは同意でしょ?
I think that this is supposed to be like convention. If you don't know, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Bay 8. Like I kind of feel like everything Rin knows is conventional classroom understanding of how things work, and anything beyond that she doesn't know. Like Shiro is a savant and she's just really good at basic schooling, I think. Well, I'm still surprised that Rin ends up going to the clock tower and going to school. Because I'm like, I thought that she already knew like everything she needs to know. They try to make her out to be like a really smart person and really capable. So it's kind of weird that after she's like 16, then she goes to the clock tower. Like, but then again, I guess the clock tower is more similar to college, I guess, than high school, even though a lot of the kids look really young. Yeah. I still don't understand how the church is against magecraft, but then they learn magecraft, but they don't have the clock tower magecraft. I guess they just they specialize in just teaching their executors a very specific type of combat and magecraft, I guess.
たとえ自分では再現不可能の奇跡だって分かっていても、それにチャレンジすることは誰にでもできる。
Right.
魔術師なんて動力源に過ぎない。小さなエンジンでもアクセルを踏み続けていれば規定以上のスピードは出る。けどその先にあるのは自滅しかない。それと同じよ。魔術師っていうのはね、自滅さえ覚悟するなら限界なんて簡単に超えられる。魔術回路を焼き切らせて神経をズタズタにして、それでも魔力を回転させていけば奇跡に手は届くわ。あなたの投影はまさにそれよ。戦いの後ずっと体が熱かったのは神経が焼き切れていたからだもの。それが分不相応な魔術の代償よ。手足の1本や2本壊れて当然のことをあなたはしたの。
Tosaka's voice grows a little louder, but at the same time.
だから覚えておきなさい、エミヤ君。自分の限界を超えた魔術は術者を廃人にするわ。セイバーの剣を投影するなんてもう二度とやらないで。
Never again, surely. Tosaka is worried about me, genuinely. I still don't remember why he had to create Saber's sword when she already had her own sword, though. Like, because I got that bad ending where Saber used her Noble Phantasm she used up all her power and died. But how was that any different than Shiro summoning a Caliburn instead, and then her using her Noble Phantasm, and then she doesn't die? I don't get that one. Like, they didn't really explain that very well at all. After her warning, Tosaka prescribes some medicine I'm not familiar with.
まあ、無理するなって言っても無駄だろうしね。気休めだろうけど、もしもの時の痛め止めぐらいは飲んどきなさい。うまくいけば、あざで変色した肌も治るかもしれないし。
Tosaka explains this as she prepares some kind of green powdery medicine. I drink it with some tea. Tosaka rummages through her stuff and tries to prescribe some other medicine. Anyway, I feel bad for Tosaka having to go through all her stuff just for me, but I feel like I'm wasting time just sitting here. I should... Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Ask about projection in more detail. She's told you everything, man. Question 1? Silence is golden. Question 1? What does that even mean? Question 1. What? Well, I thought that Saber and Shiro's connection is good now. Once they had the magic circuit transplant, I believe it's perfectly good now. Which is also why he got more images of her inside of his head. I'll try question 1. I don't know what that means. Now that I think about it, there's one thing that I don't understand. Why wasn't Tosaka just crushed during our battle with Berserker? Yeah, I thought so too. Maybe she was strengthening her own body, but I don't know. What sort of trickery did she use? Hey Tosaka, can I ask you something?
何? 忙しいんだから手短にして。
I can't believe this I'm getting this just by doing the question 1 answer. That doesn't make sense. I think it's 100% a good connection, but I mean, it's still too soon. I mean, they only did the connection like 12 hours ago in the game. Okay, so Berserker grabbed you. I'm just wondering how you survived. You don't look like it, but do you work your abs or something?
鍛えてあるだけでバーサーカーの腕力に耐えられるなんて、私のお腹は鉄以上ってこと？
Sorry, that was the wrong way to ask. I apologize, so please stop grinning at me like that.
そっちこそ無駄に挑発しないでよね。で、どうやって持ちこたえたかだけど、事前にお腹に宝石を仕込んでおいたのよ。服の内側に貼り付けて防護膜を張ってたわけ。納得いった？
I feel like a servant should be able to go through a protective barrier very easily, especially Hercules. I see, so you expected Berserker to grab you from the get-go. Makes sense then, planning to protect yourself. But that means your jewels.
もう品切れよ。セイバーに1個、バーサーカーの注意をそらすのに3個、顔を吹っ飛ばすのに5個。で、体を守らせてたのが1個。10年以上蓄えたものだけど、使うときはあっという間だったわ。しかも、そのほとんどを使ったのにバーサーカーは倒せなかったし。
In spite of her dejected sigh, Tosaka doesn't seem to regret what happened. What's done is done. She knows very well not to dwell on what she lost, but to focus on what she gained in exchange. I see. Sorry about that, Tosaka.
ありがとう。まあ、この教訓を生かして、次は私一人で倒せるようなものを作ってみせるわ。
So stupid. Like what? like in 1 second she'll say, "You'd never be able to beat a servant. Mages can never beat a servant." And then she's like, "I'm gonna learn from this and make gems that can beat Hercules on my own." What are you talking about, man? Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, she could have left, but I mean, I don't even know what her perspective on the whole war is at this point, because, like, you know, she's already lost her servant. She's helping Shiro. Is she just okay to be his mentor during the war for the rest of the war now, I guess? I don't know. But I guess no. But the city, she still feels responsible for the city. So in a way, helping Shiro now that she lost her servant is like the only way that she can help protect the city. That's how, you know, she still has responsibility from her perspective. That's true. She could always, that is true. She could always steal another servant. That's true. Well, wait a second. How many are there at this point? They went through so many. Well, she doesn't know enough about a lot of them. There's Saber, Assassin, and Caster, and they don't know anything about him at this point. She's as blunt as ever about that, but I'm also sure she'll manage it. And then I realized Tosaka is the reason we won against Berserker. And after giving me several medications, Tosaka instructs me to do simple strengthening exercises while we keep an eye on how my body reacts. Apparently, she's checking to see that nothing goes wrong inside me when I use magical energy. Honestly, Tosaka seems more like a doctor more than a teacher. Seems more like a doctor than a teacher today.
よし、問題はないみたいね。この分なら明日はもう来なくていいわ。
A lot of times when I'm playing this, I feel like I'm just like the editor of this game. Like, who the heck was being the editor of this game and didn't notice all these spell check errors? Or were there just so many spelling errors that this is what it looks like after fixing everything that they did? I don't know. I am definitely gonna have to go back and check what the differences are between the dialogue in this version and the original version. Really? That's, well, fan translations, you know, fans always put more effort in for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check if the original version was any different. That's a bit of a surprise. I don't have to come tomorrow. That means...
当然じゃない。 今の状況で私があなたに教えることなんてないもの。本気で魔術を習いたいんならこの戦いが終わってからにするべきよ。
Yeah, that's right. I don't remember what the English version was before this. Was there no official English version before this version? I think that might be the case, right? I know that's how it was for Tsukihime. I believe Fate Extra is in English though on PSP, but not Extra CCC. Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, they're not happening super often, and I do wonder if there's going to be way more or way less in the next routes. My guess is it's going to stay consistent, though. And there's nothing like really obviously devastatingly wrong. You know, back in the 2000s, they would straight up put wrong words, whereas here it's mostly missing a word or adding a word, and it's, you know, just a adverb or whatever. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, him saying that Fate Extra CCC would be his last work. Honestly, when I first, you know, because I was like getting into the Fate series even more seriously during Apocrypha, when that was happening, I was like, oh man, like like I had heard general ideas of what Extra was, and then I heard what CCC was, and I was like, wow, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard, kind of thing. And then Apocrypha came out, but then it wasn't written by him, so then I was like, oh, okay. And then I heard more and more about other stories that were not being written by him, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess he's getting less interested. And then FGO happened, yeah. But then well, then even FGO didn't have his writing until Singularity 6 and 7, though I think that maybe he was just working on 6 and 7 from the beginning of Fate Grand Order until when they released those Singularities, I think. He really, like, and the funny thing about the early Singularities is that they're just short stories. He could have just made like a 100-page story and it would have been good. Instead, what we got was, you know, Singularity 2 and 3, where it's like, what are you guys doing here? What's happening? Like, whoever the writers were for those, they didn't even know what the game was. They're like, there's servants and they want to win, right? Yeah, we get it. It's like, okay, I don't know. There can be a real story, guys. Yeah, the alliance is totally over now. Totally. What? I suddenly realized our alliance was only so we could defeat Berserker. Now that Berserker's gone, Tosaka doesn't have a servant anymore. Our living arrangements should be over. Should have ended yesterday even. So what are you going to do now, Tosaka? Are you going to go to Kodamini's place? That'd probably be the normal thing to do. Actually, I think if she went back to her home. Well, no, never mind. That's probably not very safe over there. The church is probably not a great place to stay. Actually, her home's got to be safer than the church. And this is me ignoring what I know about Kodamine, of course. But still, Tosaka and Kodamine are student and disciple, so it shouldn't be an issue for her to go asking for him for protection.
なんで？行くわけないじゃない。まだ負けてもいないのに。サーバントがいなくなったから戦えないなんてことはないでしょ?
Meanwhile, she was yelling at how crazy Shiro was for saying that he could fight a servant.
それにやり逃げってのも趣味じゃないしね。一度戦うと決めたからには最後まで事の顛末を確かめるのが責任でしょ?
I just want to throw out there, I don't know where this story's going, but based on what I know about Lancer, Assassin, and Caster, this is a suicidal choice. Like, I have no idea how much she's involved in the story anymore, because those three are very impervious to her efforts. She says this like it should be the most obvious thing in the world. She's proud about that. My eyes widen. Well, okay, maybe not. I should have expected this from Tosaka. She's unbelievably stubborn, absolutely selfish, and captivatingly brilliant. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to go out on your own now? There are still servants and masters left.
そうね。だからしばらくはここで情報を集めるわ。竜道寺の調査も再開しないといけないし。
You're going to stay here? Are you sure? It'd be a big help if you stayed, but our alliance ended, so...
何言ってるのよ。バーサーカーに勝てたのはあーちゃんのおかげでしょ。協力関係は終わったけど、その借りはまだ貸したままよ。返済が終わるまでここを提供するのは当然じゃない。
She can just say, let's continue our alliance because you need all the help you can get. But instead she comes up with all this. Make Clee stronger. I agree though, honestly. You know, that was a good joke like 3 years ago. Now it's like, okay, I'm a little confused on the power scaling here because Clee has always been strong. But like the way you play as her is very I guess the big question is well, they could make a Clee altar or something, you know. They when they release her mom, they could, you know, Alice, they could also release like a Clee altar where either she's a little bit older or this is just like battle mode Clee. She hasn't been trying this whole time or something. Berserker Clee or something. I could see that happening. I don't know though. Yeah, that's weird. I don't have Clee in Genshin, so I've seen people play as her, but I just feel like seeing people play as her, like she feels like one of the least interesting characters to play as, since she has bad mobility, and yeah, even Hu Tao seemed more fun to use really early in the game.
それに責任は最後まで取るって言ったでしょ。
Also, him saying that he wants Clee to be stronger makes me like wonder if he views her like almost like Ilya or something. She's very powerful. In canon, she's one of the strongest people in the world, possibly. It's kind of weird. Yeah, she did get buffed, but I don't quite. It's a more fundamental level, because like when you look at how her gameplay works, it's really overly simple compared to every other character nowadays. It's like, do you want to summon this thing that shoots out a lot of fire, and she's a little girl, so she moves a lot slower than a lot of the other characters? Or do you want to be the fire girl who's got a super size, who can move way faster, basically? Let's just say, like, that's just one of the characters. Oh, really? He asked for a buff 2 years ago? Yeah. Well, yeah, she did get buffed. I mean, like, damage-wise, she is good. It's just, like, if you want to move around much, not so the best. Yeah, she doesn't have good exploration capabilities, I would say. She's just basically a little girl that can create a big fire thing that shoots out a lot of fire. It does good damage. Very good damage now. But, like, yeah, a lot of characters nowadays are a lot more interesting. Oh, did it? Yeah, I guess that's true. Well, wait, no. The Honkai Fate collab was last year, I think. Part 1. I thought. But it might have been announced 2 years ago, though.
ちょっとの間だったけど指定になったしね。あなたを一人にしたら頼りなくって心配で、聖杯戦争どころじゃなくなるわ。
Oh, right. It feels like a lifetime ago, so I'd nearly forgotten. But I've admired Rin because of exactly those qualities for a long time now. So I'm actually very happy. That's the Tosaka I've always known and liked. Besides, if I ever saw the day a girl as stubborn as her give up, I wouldn't know what to believe from then on. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, Tosaka. Whatever else I might say, I wouldn't know what to do without you. Saber and I need you, Tosaka.
いいけど、 あんた、その言い回しはやめなさいってば。バカ正直なのはいいけど、気をつけないと誤解を招くわよ。
Huh? I'm not sure why that upset Tosaka so much. Tosaka, what do you mean I might give people the wrong idea? What wrong idea?
あのね、今のは失言なの。聞くなって態度で表してるんだから、追求するのはルール違反よ。
Tosaka must be aware of some secret rule I'm not.
呆れた。これじゃセイバーも大変だわ。まあ、それともあんたたちはそれでちょうどいいのかもね。少しぐらい麻痺してないと、あなたもセイバーもダメなのかもしんないし。
Okay. I still don't get it. But I didn't miss what you said about feeling bad for Saber. What do you mean she has it tough?
だから、あんたのそういうところが大変だって言ってるの。その分じゃセイバーの変化になんて気がついてないんでしょ、エミヤ君は。
Changes in Saber? It's not about her appearance, right? If anything would have changed in Saber. Oh, right, she has been acting weird since this morning. No, I just thought she was in a bad mood because Ilya was with us. She just sat there all stiff and quiet, and when I asked if there was something wrong, she just got up and left, saying something about having had a dream. And I pretty much forgot about it and all the hustle and bustle over Ilya. Yeah, Saber's been a little off this morning, like her head is somewhere else.
セイバーが夢を見た?
That's the bit that surprises you? And now she's ignoring me. Hey, don't go quiet on me. That face you're making has me nervous.
ああ、別にそんな大したことじゃないわ。単にサーバントは夢を見ないってだけだから。
Huh? Servants don't dream?
そうよ。サーバントは夢なんて見ないわ。それでも見たって言うんなら、それは夢じゃない。単に誰かの記憶を垣間見ただけの話よ。
Close enough. It's still a dream. Oh my gosh. I'm like, servants and masters always dream. Oh, okay. Technically, it's not a dream. Okay. Maybe Tosaka's experienced it before. The coolness in her voice runs so counter to her usual cheerfulness. Oh, the conversation just ended there? Okay. And now it's time to prepare dinner. With so much happening these past few days, I thought the whole cooking rotation had gone out the window, but then...
今日の夕食、お願いね。今夜もまた冷えそうだし、イリアもいるし、シチューとかいいんじゃない?
She steps out of her room as she speaks. Well, yeah, I guess stew would be perfect for Ilya. Maybe it's the hat and coat she wears that makes me think that. Whatever the case, I don't have a problem making stew for dinner. So is Ilya going to be cooking later? I'm no expert in Western dishes like stew, but I don't think I can really mess something like that up. Oh, but before that, a little before 6 o'clock, so I have some time before I need to cook. We had training, so I've done my share of sweating today. Seems like now would be a good time to take a bath. I just realized, I know that the game has been at a breakneck speed of plot development. Shinji's been dead for days now. And Shiro hasn't even thought of Sakura in that whole time. like wait a second. What the heck is Sakura thinking? Like, huh, he's missing. That's weird. Like, he dead. He's just a bloody splat on the wall now. Taking a bath before dinner might be a hassle, but Tosaka and Saber usually do it right after dinner, so it would be pretty late by the time it was my turn. Hallway's cold. Heaters have the rooms nice and warm, but once I'm in the hallway, it's cold. Fuyuki's winters are normally warm, but now it's cold. Friggin' weird dialogue. Speaking of cold, it looks like it snowed. I must not have noticed because it only lasted for less than an hour and didn't snow a large amount. Oh. I know the day that it snows in the Heavensfeel route is a pretty major day. Hey, I miss Shinji. He was okay. He was okay. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's kind of funny because like I'm expecting to get more info about him, and then we've gotten as far as we got, and then we didn't learn anything, and then I'm like, in the Unlimited Blade Works route, I don't think you learn anything about Shinji there either. He pretty much does almost the exact same thing as this. So I guess maybe anything extra would be in the Heaven's Feel route. Oh yeah, well that's the funny thing, because yeah, like I was shocked when he showed up in Fate Extra, and well, it's weird. The whole school setting aspect of Fate Extra never made much sense to me. Was Fate Extra. No, so I am going, so whenever Fate Extra record comes out, I'm going to be having the most bizarre experience, because right now my favorite character for now is BB, who's in CCC, which I basically know the whole plot because I actually looked into that whole thing because of Kiara. And then so I didn't play Extra, but I did watch the anime, which I know how messed up it is. It's just completely unrelated, basically. And then I've played Extella. I actually played Extella. What was it? I actually played the second Extella game. Then I went back and played the first Extella game. So like I'm playing it in like literally reverse order. Like Extella 2, then Extella 1, and then I looked up the CCC story, and I have actually avoided the actual story of Extra. Like, but again, the anime does like give you the broad strokes about what it kind of will be about, but obviously the events are just completely different. The CCC translation. Yeah, to be fair, I was looking into CCC back when FGO had their CCC collab, if you want to call it a collab or whatever. And that's when I really got into it, because I really liked that event. Even now, like, still one of the best events in Fate Grand Order. But that was like in 2018 or 19. So yeah, that was a long time ago when they had that event. But yeah, I'm actually doing the whole event right now about the moon cancers, and it's more BB, even more BB. But it should be, I think the last story was BB in Fate Grand Order, maybe. If there had been much snow on the ground, my yard would be packed with an entire army of snowmen, which really sucks to clean up. In that sense, I'm glad it didn't snow much. Of course, a snowman army would be the work of a single person. Can't help but smile as I remember when it snowed last day, and her cold reddened hands gripping the lectern. That's right. Fujini. Huh? I was thinking of taking a shower, but the bathroom is already warm. I hear something moving in water. I strain my eyes, trying to see the bathtub through the haze of stream. Why are you struggling to see the bathtub? Why do you need to see the bathtub? His mind. It works like lightning in fighting, but when he's outside of combat, he's like, what's happening? The bathroom's warm? I better go check what's going on here. Oh my gosh, it's so shocking. Who could have predicted that a bathroom being warm would imply something like this is happening? My mind goes as blank as the white sheets of steam filling the bathroom. What? My throat closes up. I can't get a word out. My brain stops working. I'm paralyzed. But in the back of my mind, I recall something similar happening. Actually, the exact same thing has already happened. Last time I was dressed and Saber wasn't. Not this time. Oh, Saber. The only sound is my own loud gulping. Saber just freezes, watching me as I stand there, dumbfounded. She's going to get mad. Here it comes. I'm gonna die. Her soft lips begin to tremble. Any second now, she's going to start yelling. Sorry, it's my fault. I was going to use a shower. Well, I didn't think anybody would be using the bathroom at this hour. But yeah, I should have figured it out earlier, but I ramble out a lame excuse it's not a lame excuse, it's literally what happened. backwards, trying to head back to the changing room. It's not that I'm gawking at Saber, but for some reason it feels like making a mad dash for the changing room would just make Saber angrier. The truth of the matter is, I can't take my eyes off of her. I remember the night in the ruins. I recall Saber's warmth, how close it was. Her body was so frail and slender. The heat of our bodies, even our heartbeats mingled, overlapped. At the time, I was just desperate to fix the problem, but now it all feels so tempting. Anyway, we can talk later. I tried to reach behind me for the exit, and then... Sui, my son. Saber averts her gaze, her voice oddly muffled. Now I really don't know what to think. I'm not sure why Saber isn't mad. Like, how many things do we need to know about how Saber's mind is, like, more open to Shiro's now? Like, they've made it very clear in more than one scene already. Seeing how embarrassed she looks causes blood to pound in my skull. Why? The words come out before I can stop myself. Saber looks down even more apologetically. Saber shrinks in on herself, hiding her body. Like, I feel like, based on... yeah, again, I wonder, like, if how much dialogue has changed, because, like, when, you know, in the original version, when they actually had sex, how would this scene make sense? It's like, yeah, I know we've had sex, but oh my gosh, I saw you in a shower this time. Like it's completely different. Like, I don't know. But whatever. I get it. It's love story stuff. And then I suddenly remember when I ran into her in the changing room last time, she didn't say anything. Sex does not matter for servants. She'd said that. Appearances hadn't mattered to her. Hold on, I can't find the right words. My head is spinning. Come on, work, Brian. So you're not mad, Saber? I'm just getting through this at this point. It's just like, yeah, I remember everything from last time. I get it. Saber doesn't care what she looks like, whether she has clothes on or not. That's why it's not weird for me to be here. Bathroom's a place to wash one. It's not strange. Doesn't matter whether Saber's here or not. yeah. They had the sex to survive. No excuse for peeping. I guess I can't argue with that. That's it. Really was sex for survival. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Knowing that helps, but I have a feeling I'm wrong. So then I don't think it would be a problem if I use the shower right now. You know. ですからそれは見られることは問題ではないのです。ただ私の体は凛のように少女のものではありません。Wait, how's that work? Wait, no, but her body is that of a young girl, even younger than Rin. What? like, what is she talking about? So she blushes even more, tripping over her words. I forgot that she's shy about her muscles. Yeah, I remember this in the original anime. But again, it's weird that she's like, oh no, I don't have a young body like Rin. It's like, what? I know that your age is stuck at like 15 or 14. What are you talking about? Like, oh, but I'm so muscular though. It's like, okay, yeah, but still, it's still a young body though. Like, she sounds so bashful. I almost faint for just so many reasons. You fool! I would never think that. Saber's body's a long way from unsightly. She says she's rugged, but that's never bothered me. Sure, she's more muscular than Tosaka, but still, I think Saber is very feminine. Good conversation. Great conversation. I don't know how I responded. I only remember nodding slightly and pulling the door closed. Surely there's some way to let people know that there's somebody in the bathroom, right? Like, surely there's some way. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Oh no, my muscles. Like you look like a stick, but all right, sure. And so the day ends. Dinner was chaotic. Elliot got chattier with each meal. And oh, really? Elliot's getting chattier, but we're not hearing what the conversations are. And she and Tosaka have gotten to this weird point where I'm not sure whether they're fighting or being friendly. Saber has accepted Ilya's presence here, but she hasn't warmed up to her. More than that, Saber's gets pretty frowny whenever Ilya gets near me. Yeah, before the 20th century, nobody ever knocked on doors ever. Actually, wait a second. This takes place in 2005. Like, wait. Not even like it's super modern day. These past few days have been just plain rough. Normal routine of just a few days ago has devolved into complete chaos. I think I've actually heard, I don't know where I heard it, but I think I've heard that some authors or like one or two authors admit that they were like, I legit don't know how to make these two characters talk because they're so guarded, and that's why I had them meet in a bathhouse or in some bizarre scene in which they're just trapped and all they can do is talk to each other. And it's like, okay, understandable, but the bathroom trope definitely should just not happen. It's just like that one's like, I don't know. Just like it starts making me think like, why, what happens when you have a full family? What if you have like a family of like four people, and they're just walking into the bathroom every day, all day, like nobody ever lets other people know, hey, I'm in here. No, it just never happens. Step silently out into the yard. It's just about time for the calendar to roll over to the next day, is it? Okay. Walk beneath the pale light of the moon, leaving faint puffs of white breast in my wake. Oh, we're skipping to this. Next thing I know, I'm at work on my daily routine. I don't really need to train out here since Tosaka is teaching me, but I still sit on the cold ground, check on the things I've been working on for so long. I'm not doing this because I'm worried about my skills. It's more that I find doing it soothing. I've been doing this for years, so just not doing it would feel weird. Trace on. I put even more effort into tonight's training. Tosaka told me not to do any more, but I can't just do as she says. It's like, hey, you might die. But I can't just do what the doctor told me to do. It's like, cool. If I can master this projection thing, it'd mean I could be a lot more helpful to Saber. And the heat from earlier is still lingering within me. The night at the ruins, the battle in the forest, in the morning mist, the golden sword I created. The residual heat still lingers in my hands. And deep down, I find myself hoping I'll be able to reignite those flames. Creation, philosophy, appraisal, it's easy to recreate. At the time, I was so desperate that my mind was a jumble, but now I can retrace the necessary steps and form my incantation. No, from the very beginning, there has only been a single thing that could serve as a trigger for me. The pronunciation is the same, but just by changing my perception of how it is said, it will become something entirely mine, my own original spell. Basic structure, hypothesis. I know very well how dangerous this is. Tosaka doesn't need to remind me. I really have no business getting anywhere near projection magecraft. It's completely beyond me. Venturing so brazenly into dangerous waters can lead only to death. End of hypothesis. Now instant nothingness? What? I erased the blueprint that was in my head. A shadow falls across the door. Saber comes in, her frame blotting out the light of the moon.
よかった。ここにいたのですね、シロ。姿が見えないので何かあったのかと。
I just got reminded. I'm gonna have to go and check. This song, I'm wondering whether this song is also in Fate Samurai Remnant. I played that game too. I feel like this might be the vibe that was in that game. I'll have to check. No, nothing's happened. I couldn't sleep, so I came here to do some mental exercises. Once I finish, I'll head back to my room, so you don't need to worry.
そうですか。ならいいのですが。
Saber focuses on my forehead. You can probably see that I'm dripping with sweat. It's always like this. Don't worry. Mages have to practice their magecraft. And well, failure comes with the territory for an amateur like me. I wipe the sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. Oh? I'm surprised. My sweat is cold as ice. I thought it was cold, but I don't remember the shed being quite this cold. It literally snowed. Well, yeah, as much as I possibly could. It's a daily routine my old man taught me, so I should at least keep doing it. At least keep to it. As soon as I finish speaking, I regret my bluff. I regret telling her this is my daily routine. My intent was to boast to Saber, but at the end of the day, my training isn't just some chore to me. But it isn't the easiest of tasks either. Saber says nothing. The moon hangs behind her, its light spilling around her frame. The shed, plunged into bluish darkness, is illuminated by the few shafts of silvery light that make it past Saber. I recall the first night I met her. Saber, Tosaka said something to me today. That moment felt just like a dream. Is it true that servants don't dream? I can't stop myself from asking.
私たちは夢を見ない。もともと幽体であるサーバントは眠りません。私は幽体化ができないため眠らざるを得ませんが、それでも夢を見れません。
But this morning you said... There is a brief silence. She closes her eyes, then apparently having made up her mind.
私が見たものはあなたの夢です。マスターとサーバントは精神的にもつながっている。結びつきが強くなれば相手の過去を垣間見ることもあるでしょう。
Are they finally going to talk about some Fate Zero stuff? Because I thought that there'd be like a little bit of hints about what happened in the last Holy Grail War, and we're getting like almost nothing. Like basically it's just backstory was Kiritsugu, and I think that's it. But I mean, maybe it's all backloaded near the end of this route, and then it obviously come up in Heaven's Feel. Maybe you dreamed of my past.
はい。あなたの心に踏み入る行為だとは分かっていたのですが、私には拒むことができなかった。それをどうか許してください、シロ。
Don't. I did the same thing. Saber's past. I've seen several scenes from her life before she became a servant now. Don't be silly. That's not your fault. You can't help what you dream about. And I have to apologize too. My past is pretty boring. Seeing something that boring probably makes you not want to have to sleep.
いえ、夢を見たのは今朝だけです。それも最近のことではありませんから、シロの男性としてのプライベートを侵害するようなことは決してありません。
Saber is dead serious about that warning. But privacy, well, yeah, sure, I've done my share of dumb things. That's a relief, but if you're saying you didn't see any recent memories, then how far into the past did you see?
大きな火事でした。私が見たものはその光景だけです。
Her voice is quiet. Her gentle gaze tells me what she saw. Oh. That dream. Interesting. So that's the first indication that we see. I see. Well, I don't know what to say. Should I say it was unfortunate? It's like going to a movie theater expecting to see a movie, you know, but you somehow end up in the wrong theater and end up getting a completely different show. It helped me to...
前から思ってはいたのです。あなたにはひどく危ういところがあると。
Huh? What do you mean dangerous? Well, yeah, I'm sure the odds are plenty stacked against me from your point of view.
そんな意味ではありません。あなたは、シローは私と似ています。だから、あなたの間違いもわかる。このまま進めばどうなってしまうかも、同じだから分かってしまう。
It's kind of weird that she says that she's similar to him, because like they are similar, but the difference is that Saber had like an idyllic childhood, but she just kind of knew, hey, I'm gonna have to Well, no, actually, no, she didn't even know that she had to become king when she grew up. So yeah, she just had an idyllic childhood, but she would train a little bit, and that's about it. I don't think she was getting like told that she was going to have to train to be king or anything. Whereas Shiro just has a traumatic moment in his childhood, and then he just wants to save people. But she wanted to save people kind of just from pure altruism. But he wants to save people because of the experience that he had. So like they are similar, I guess, in that their goals are the same, but like how they came to have those goals are just completely opposite, I would say. I mean, I guess then again, after she got the sword, then she went straight to war. So I guess that is like comparable in that way. I don't think I've made any mistakes. I've failed plenty of times, but my goal is to be champion of justice. Like my old man, a goal like that can't be a mistake. No way.
だから、それが間違いなのです。シロ、あの事故はあなたのせいでもないし、その責任はあなたが負うべきものでもない。あなたには償うべきものなどないのです。
That's obvious. It was just an accident, and I was just a victim. Sure, I may be dealing with survivor's guilt.
以前、リンが言っていました。シローの自己犠牲と献身ぶりは異常だと。それは私も同感です。
I just remembered we're actually going to get Fate Zero lore when Gil shows up. I mean, I don't know how much, but like definitely a good deal of it.
あなたは自らの命を代価として人を助けようとするのではない。あなたは単に初めから自分の命が感情に入っていないのではないですか。
Maybe my pupils have dilated. I'm not sure why, but I can't seem to focus on Saber's face.
あの事故を忘れることはあなたにはできないでしょう。ですが、覚えている限りシローは変わらない。それは苦しいのではないですか。
Painful? For me? Well, yeah, that's painful. Saber doesn't have to remind me of that. It's obvious. So many people died, it was absolute hell. Something like that causing you pain is only natural. And besides, if I didn't feel that, it might all be meaningless. Yeah, you're right. It is painful to remember, but it's in the past now. There's nothing I can do about it. Saber doesn't answer. Instead, she claws at her arm in frustration.
私は聖杯を手に入れなければならない。けれど、それはシローにも当てはまる。
Yeah, Saber?
シローには聖杯が必要だ。私があなたに呼び出されたのは必然だったのです、マスター。
I don't know how to respond to that.
先に眠ります。シローもあまり無茶はしないように。
Saber leaves. I fold my arms and think. Do I need the Holy Grail? A vessel that grants wishes to its possessor? A vessel which contains unlimited quantities of magical energy, for which it is said nothing is impossible? Were I to get it, it could easily grant my wish. No, that's wrong. No matter how I look at it, I don't need the Holy Grail. Nope, I definitely don't need it, because I don't have any wishes that can't come true, or hope for anything that's impossible. I wouldn't have a dream if it weren't something I could attain myself. I mean, you can always attain it, but like the idea is that the Grail can just instantly have you attain it. But no, I get it. But I get it. He's like anti-Grail in that, like, he's like, you should always work for what you want to achieve. But then it's like, well, plenty of people are fine with not doing that. So the night grows darker. In the familiar old shed, lit only by the moon, I listen to the distant wind. Okay. Okay. So are we now on day 13? Let's see. Let's get rid of this one. Okay, now it's day 13. Oh my gosh. We'll see how far we get, I guess. I'm hoping this is one of the shorter days. Yeah, but yeah, they definitely messed up the day counter, as I mentioned in my last stream. Because yeah, I'm very confident that before it wouldn't be that it would be the 13th of the months and the 13th day, because the idea was that the grail the day numbers started before the start of the months, so then it was off by 1 day every time until now, because the days blurred together so much, I guess. I don't know if this is, yeah, I don't know why that happened. I'm gonna have to like look that up online. Like, why did the day counter start being wrong? The sky is gray, the hill crimson with corpses. The heavy clouds drift away, heralding the battle's end. Ah, it's this one. I know this scene. I've seen it so many times now. This is one of Saber's battles. She fought and won so many victories. Scenes like this are almost commonplace for her. Afterwards, she will return. Yeah, we've seen this before. She'll return to the castle where Victor will be praised and celebrated. Then she will prepare for the next battle. This is just life for her. It is only one of the 12 great battles she fought. That's the weird part, because the way they talk about this almost implies like 1 second Shiro's like she's fought countless battles, and then the next he's like she only ever fought 12 battles in her life. Like, okay. It's like it's very specific how many battles she was in, actually, apparently. And though she does not truly remember victory so much as she just accepts it as fact, I think she's misguided. This is not a dream. This is just cold reality, her past that can't be changed. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord and became a king with many knights. He was known as King Arthur in Artoria. The life of the girl who once aspired to be a knight changed so radically. No, was forced to end her life as she knew it. Might be a better way to put it. In that instant, the girl who still had such childlike features ceased to be and became the king of knights. She acted like she was the king's son. Right. The ruler of territories and knights had to be male. Only her father and the mage knew the king was female. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go and look up. I keep forgetting, but yeah, I gotta go and look up a mod to fix this, actually, so I don't have to see this dumb name. She covered herself in iron and hid that truth for the rest of her life. I don't know why I never realized the implications until now. As much public exposure as she had, she managed to pass herself off as male the whole time. The sheer suffering she likely endured must have been incredible, but a simple observer could never really understand. Time passes. 10 years worth of memories as king, and there was only one common thread that entire time. Even when she was on the throne, even when she's walking through the hallways, even when she's on the battlefield, not a soul spoke to her. Even the round table, filled as it was with knights boasting of their valor, always fell silent with the moment the king appeared. So that's what it meant. He was merely tolerated as an idol. Many knights looked down on Artoria with her boyish appearance and were ultimately not comfortable in trusting her with their blades. I think that this gets retconned, because every time you hear about the round table after Fate Stay Night, it sounds like, no, they were, like, yeah, maybe they didn't get super personal with her, but they were friendly with her and they talked to her and stuff. Like this being like, they didn't feel comfortable in trusting her with their blades. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's the Knights of the Round Table. They're very friendly with each other. Like, it'd be really weird if they just never they were only ever super serious and professional whenever Artoria was in the room. Like, no, I don't believe that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's especially funny because, like, based on all of the knights that we've seen, Garrus would definitely be very trusting of her and you know, okay, maybe idolize her even, to be fair. But then we also know for sure that Bedivere was her literal best friend. So it's like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Now, to be fair, this is probably Shiro's interpretation, but even then, like, why is he making these assumptions that, oh, the Round Table was totally not her friends? Like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I have to wonder how much Arthur really cared about people who weren't part of his Round Table. Like, obviously, you know, he was still their king, so he would listen to their concerns and stuff, but like, well, I don't know. I guess it depends how much they were idolizing King Arthur at the end of the day. Also, there's like different interpretations of how Mordred brought the enemy army to face Arthur. It's either that Mordred brought all the old enemies from the past to come and fight against Arthur, or Mordred found all the people who didn't like Arthur within England to fight against her. But it's kind of weird. It's like you have Camelot, and Arthur's doing literally his best to help keep everything peaceful, and yet people are like, I'm dissatisfied with what's going on. And it's like, before Arthur showed up, they were on the brink of all dying. I guess like they all just got like overconfident about the peace times. I guess that's the idea. Like they forgot what war was, maybe. That's my best guess. Like over the course of 10 years, they were like, oh, it's peaceful now, so it'll always be peaceful. You didn't really do anything, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of weird to say that King Arthur didn't actually bring the times of peace on Britain. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's really weird. And then like after King Arthur died, then they were like, oh, we regret what we were thinking or something, I guess, maybe. And then that's when they started idolizing King Arthur even more, maybe. I don't know. They just accepted the disgrace, believed it would pass. Sacred sword or no, the king was merely a child, even though the child is the one winning their battles. Okay. Apparently even fought a dragon, by the way. I guess there weren't many people in that dragon fighting battle or something. Even with Merlin's support, the king would surely fail eventually. When that happens, they need only take the sacred sword from her and select a new king. I don't think there was ever any indication that anybody would become king after King Arthur. In fact, they should have been worried about the other way around. That, hey, wait a second, King Arthur's not aging. How's that going to work in our monarchy system? Like, it should have been the other way around, that they're like, will there even be another king after, you know, if she's immortal? You know? That should have been the concern, not, oh, well, she's going to fail eventually, and then we'll just find another king. Like, what? like, after how many years would you still be thinking that? That's such a weird thing to say. Like, yeah, she's won, like, 6 battles in a row and brought peace mostly back to Britain, but, you know, she's going to fail eventually. Like, well, that's probably what most of the knights thought. Probably. Nah, I'm pretty sure you're wrong, Shiro. I'm going to say this is just Shiro being stupid. But that's not how it went. The knight only just reaching adulthood with a flawless king. She enforced peace among the squabbling lords and fought off invaders as well. It almost sounds like that's what they thought the first year she was king. Okay, sure. But then after that, of course, this wasn't due to the sacred sword's power. The sacred sword only protects the king. The king, on the other hand, protects her nation. And through her deeds, she was always able to maintain control of her knights. The sacred sword protects her only from her enemies. It does nothing to help her hold sway over the hearts of her subjects. She worked herself to the bone to be the ideal king to all. At that point, the knights had no choice but to obey. They held their dissatisfaction for the young king in check because the king was truly perfect. She strived to be an ideal king. The only condition for the knights' support was that their king be exactly that, the ideal king. There was no room for Artoria to be a human being. She could be a king and only a king. I mean, this is kind of true just for other kings also. It's not like people are okay when a king is like, oh, they just made a mistake. It's fine. Like, I don't know. There's been a lot of kings who apparently were allowed to like commit atrocities, and it's not like, oh, they suddenly had a big uprising. Like, no, uprisings were very uncommon until like maybe the 17 or 1800s, I guess. Or at least they weren't major enough uprisings to actually seriously endanger the monarchy. The peerless knight who drew the sacred sword, who stopped aging from that moment, and who went on to win 12 great wars. The more perfect she became, the more people stayed away from her. As this continued, the king grew more and more isolated. That was who she was. But she did well. In fact, she did too well. She defeated her enemies and minimized her own side's casualties. No matter the battle, sacrifices must be made. So she believed it was her duty to make sacrifices to bolster her army and to defeat the enemy without wasting lives. She would strip the resources from one village to prepare her army. Oh my gosh, we're getting the same dialogue as before. To prepare her army, then defeat the invaders before they could strike her land, saving perhaps 10 villages. That was the king's approach, and it proved the best strategy at the time. But the knights must not have been happy. To them, only the foreign invaders should have died, and the only true victory is made without. And the only true victory is made without any such sacrifices. Literally, shut up, Shiro. This is Shiro. Like, what kind of human being says, I thought nobody would die when I went to war? Like, what are you talking about? What? You're crazy. Like, heck, people are likely to die just in training for war. Never mind when they actually get there. There shouldn't be any need to sacrifice a territory before battle. They were going to win regardless, so the sacrifices were pointless. There wouldn't be any sacrifices, so the king's actions were a waste. It was, of course, total nonsense. Once battle began, the knights spared not a thought for those little villages. No one thought twice about trampling the villages. Protecting them was never a consideration. Or maybe this is like what Saber thought? Looking back on things, maybe? Like, this doesn't... There's no way this could reflect the reality of the legend, even within this lore. It's just really weird to be like, we didn't care about those villages. It's like, what are you talking about? What if that was your village? Anyway, like, what? Like, what the heck? Like, it's not like there's that many villages. I believe back then, I would not be surprised if there was, like, less than 50 villages in all of England. The population was not very big. So, like, being like, we're only going to lose a village here, there. And it's like, these guys come from these villages. What are you talking about? You know, all these knights. The knights claim... The knights. Who are these knights? I don't know. The knights claim there's nothing to be done when the enemy destroys such villages. But to let them be destroyed is a great crime? What? Obviously, she knew that, but a king cannot worry about their personal feelings. She had to kill her emotions to make her decisions, and her knights had to suppress their own feelings to obey. And so sacrifices are made, and that string of victories stabilizes the nation. In return, animosity for the king grew. Like, this makes the most sense if you think of it from Shiro's perspective, because Shiro doesn't understand anything. He doesn't understand war. He doesn't understand leading a nation outside of Japan. Like, leading a nation in Japan is very different than leading a nation outside of Japan. Like, Japan, like, almost never had foreign invaders try to take them over. Like, I feel like that only happened, like, 3 or 4 times in all of Japanese history. And, like 2 times were the Mongols, and then, like, 1 time was China, and then in the United States. Maybe that's it. Something like that. Like, I think Shiro's just being, like, a spoiled Japanese kid at this point. I mean, there couldn't have been that many villages, though. I guess it depends how many farms would be in each village. Like, I'm thinking there's villages, and then there's just random farmers out in the country. There wouldn't be villages at every farm or anything like that. I don't know. King Arthur just doesn't understand how people feel. So one knight was heard to say as they left the castle. So this is actually confirmed, though, to be Tristan who said this, which is... I really like Tristan. A lot of things were happening with Tristan at the time, so I'll give him a free pass. But it's really funny that they say that Tristan said this, because if Kay had said this, it's like, oh, well, of course Kay said this. This is just a normal thing for Kay to say, because Kay is just a bastard. But yeah, I think the idea that Tristan said it is like, okay, well, he's like one of the more sentimental, maybe the most sentimental of the Round Table Knights. So that would actually mean something. Whereas Kay is like, you expect him to be saying mean stuff all the time. What a ridiculous story. She was expected not to be human, but they hated her precisely because she didn't have human emotions. See, like right here, I think that this is combining opinions of multiple people into one. Like, you know, Tristan saying, hey, you're misunderstanding the will of the people. And then you hear some other knight say, you should always be perfect. It's like, no, this is two people's completely different opinions. Like that's why I'm saying, like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is either just the guilt that Artoria is feeling and or Shiro's interpretation of what was happening. I mean, we're not even seeing most of these scenes either. The Age of War continued. The animosity of the knights who had been dissatisfied with the king only grew more so after that knight left. Also, why are they saying that knight? Why not say which knight it is? They forced her to deal with every foreign and domestic enemy in hopes of pushing her over the edge. Collapse was imminent. If these many problems confronting the nation were never resolved, it would crumble. Even if all of them were to be resolved, what awaits is more of the same. I don't know. They're like, it's too peaceful here. I hope the king fails at protecting our nation so that we can blame him. It's like, why don't you just defend your nation and not really think too much about the king, you know? But that did not concern the king. Even should she be abandoned, feared, or betrayed, she will remain steadfast because she had long since made up her mind. She abandoned her emotions the moment she decided to draw that sword. This happened long, long ago. Knights from across the nation gathered to try to draw the sword from the stone, but none of them could do it, and the knights instead showcased their skill on horseback, eager to crown the best among them king. The knights flocked to the arena in droves. The sword and the stone lay outside, forgotten. From afar, it looked more like a festival. Even in the distance, the sound of valiant cavalrymen clashing is audible. The knights clashed in the distance, and the rock lay forgotten. What was going through the girl's mind as she stood there in front of the rock? Before she realized it, an unknown mage stood behind her. He tries to stop her for her own good. He also warned her that many would hate her, and that she would die a gruesome death. She must have been terrified. The mage showed her the future. He showed her the end she would meet if she drew that sword. It only made her all the more determined. Even after seeing that future, she only gave a firm nod. The mage asked again if that was what she wanted. She took the sword in her hand. The mage looked troubled and turned away. He departed with those prophetic words. That's right. She just wanted to protect everyone. But to do so, she had to abandon her desire to protect people. She cannot protect her country as its king if she still has a human heart. That's confusing. So she had to abandon her desire to protect people to become king, but when she became king, she desired to protect people by making sure that nobody died in war. What? I guess you could say like she was doing it out of like a habit, out of like what she remembered that what she should be doing, I guess. But it's just kind of weird that like she doesn't have emotions, but then like, well, actually all of her actions as king were driven based on her desire when she was last human. So like, you know, it's fine, you know. Like, I mean, that's where it's weird when you hear the King Arthur does not understand the emotions of her people. It's like, what action did she do that made Tristan or anybody else believe that? And that's like one of the biggest things I've always had an issue with in this story, because like it's such a linchpin on Artoria's backstory, and I don't think we ever get like a real explanation about like, you know, what was she doing that was so wrong? Like, what the heck? Like, you say that, but then when a tyrant king comes along and nobody assassinates them, oh, it's fine that they don't understand their people's hearts? What? She cannot protect her country as its king if she still has a human heart. Even knowing this, she drew the sword. Even knowing this, she vowed to live as king. So no matter what happened, she will remain steadfast. She abandoned her human heart. She was willing to give that up to protect her nation. Who could have known the girl made such a noble oath? Come what may, and however might end. Even if an inevitable solitary doom awaited her. And her end did come. The Battle of Camlan. King Arthur set out on a campaign, and one of her knights usurped her throne, splitting the nation in two and sparking a terrible conflict. Legend has it that this battle brought an end to knighthood and chivalry. It actually was still the beginning. I want to throw that out there. Like, this was actually the beginning of knighthood and chivalry. Before King Arthur, you could say that there was almost no knighthood and chivalry. I mean, I guess under her father, Uther, I guess technically that might be more considered the beginning of knighthood and chivalry. But yeah, like this knighthood and chivalry continued until Charlemagne, which was wait, when was Charlemagne? I forget. Oh, really? Oh, that was earlier than I thought. Charlemagne was 742 to 814. Yeah, maybe it was the end of knighthood and chivalry. Because, like, I think after this would be the starting of the Dark Ages. And then the Dark Ages don't end until near the Renaissance or the First Crusade, a little bit before the First Crusade, something like that. She killed every knight who once served her and invaded the land she'd fought to defend. All the knights who followed her were gone, and her own body lay injured and immobile. This is not being told well. She killed every knight who once served her. Well, that's not. Oh, I mean, okay. So she had her army, and the enemy force had their army. So there were two armies. So you know, like, technically, you could argue, well, she went and had to kill that army, which was her knights, and then in the middle of that battle, her own army also gets killed. So then she was like responsible for killing both sides of knights, kind of, sort of. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. There was no one left around her. As ever, nothing has changed. All she had in her heart was the pride of a king. She'd known about this ending. Still, she believed there was something to be gained from this failure, which is why she kept fighting without ever failing or disgracing herself. Also, I just want to throw this out there. You know, I don't know how Nasu views Britain, but considering that everything we learn about Britain after this is like just Britain victories for the most part, is kind of weird. It's like from here on, the clock tower ends up thriving, and it's like the center of magic in the world. And then of course everything was normal British history from this point onward, being generally successful. Like, I wouldn't say anything really bad happened to Britain between like 900 AD and World War II. Between there, I don't remember anything like really bad happening between those 2 points. I thought the Saxons and the what are they called? I thought that happened before. I thought the whole point was that King Arthur stopped the Saxons. And let me look this up. It's anything that happens before 1000 AD is very difficult to understand for me. Yeah, I see Saxons invaded Britain primarily after the Roman legions withdrew around 410 AD. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, yeah, the Saxons were definitely before. The Saxons are the Vikings, right? I think. Oh, no, actually, Viking raids on Britain began in 793. And continued until at least 865 at least. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because the Saxons and again, I view King Arthur as showing up around 800 and 900 AD. So I would say it would be during the Viking invasion. I think in the late 700s. I could be wrong on this. Let me go look. When did King Arthur die? Whatever. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing something that says that it's traditionally dated that King Arthur died in 537. Of course, debated. Okay, so she stopped the initial Saxon invasions, but then the later Viking or Saxon invasions, however you want to view it, came 400 years later. So I am right though. So I was right though, that because I couldn't think of anything bad that happened to Britain, again, 900 AD to World War II. So I think I'm still right on that account. It's just like I said, like everything before 900 AD is that the Dark Ages? I feel like that's the Dark Ages. I didn't think King Arthur was 537 AD though. That's way earlier than I was thinking. When was the Dark Ages? Dark Ages were the 5th to the 10th century. I was right. That 5th to 10th century would be fall of generally it's considered the fall of Western Roman Empire until basically until they started actually writing history again properly. Basically, I mean it could have started up earlier. It's just wait, when was the bubonic plague? When was the because I believe that was like the ending. Oh no! Wow, okay, it was way later. Yeah, the bubonic plague was 1300s, so that was in the middle of the. Oh yeah, that's right, because it was in the middle of the cities getting way more people, so it was right in the middle of the Renaissance. Probably, yeah, right in the middle. A lot of things to ponder. A lot of things. But yeah, there were many Saxon invasions, technically. I guess in that way she didn't do the best, because yeah, okay, you fended off the Saxons the first time, but then once she died, then the Saxons came back around later. Well, I don't know enough about what the monarchy was like before 500 AD in Britain, because like I think from Roman accounts, I don't remember hearing anything about a monarchy existing. I thought that the Romans are kind of what motivated Britain to create a unified government. I think before the Romans, they were just mostly tribes or something. She had no regrets. If she were to have one, it would be seeing her nation in ruin. She raised her gaze. Maybe she would be able to see her castle in the distance from this hill. She saw only the aftermath of the battle, a dense forest, and a lake to which she must return. That's right, the hill she'd meant to charge over has become a wall she can't climb. Strength left her body. For the first time, she loosened her grip on the sacred sword. Wait, so all of her soldiers didn't die, by the way, because I just remembered I know at least one soldier who survived, and that's where it ended. It was only natural that the dream would end here, since there is nothing beyond that moment in her memories. Well, for now, okay. And that is why this end cannot be rewritten. He worked so hard and she was resented, betrayed. Nobody understood that she loved her people more than her nation. She came to be known as a merciless king. I thought she was pretty merciful. You can't be chivalrous and merciless. This is stupid. Okay, this is bad writing. I'm throwing this out there. This is bad writing to be calling King Arthur merciless and chivalrous. Stupid. I've been reading some of the King Arthur stories, and I gotta say, these chivalrous knights are dumb, because they'll be like, "Oh man, I almost completely murdered you. Good job. Good duel, man. Stranger I just met, and I almost killed over nothing." It's like, okay, all right. I think chivalry might not be a good idea, guys. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't just start attacking strangers for no reason. Crazy idea, I know. She was never rewarded or understood. On top of the crimson-stained, sword-strewn hill, the girl sat on the edge of death, isolated and betrayed. So they might not mention it now, but I'm lost. Bedivere is still alive. Though I have heard some people say that, well, because Bedivere is technically a servant. Was it? Let me go check that. Was Bedivere? I believe Bedivere was part of the round table, but yeah. But yeah, I think that there's some like writings that like call him a like butler or something, like literally a butler, which is weird. I think he was just like the attendant of the king, but he could like personal. I think he was supposed to be like the personal guard of King Arthur, based on what I understand. Yeah, I'll have to read the story. I'm holding off on reading the parts about Camlan, since I want to somewhat read it in order. I wake to the sound of rain. It's morning. I grip my spinning head and sit up. It's just before 6 o'clock. The rain patters softly outside. That dream I just had. No, there's no doubt about it. It was Saber's past. It was the end of her long life. The end of her life a long, long time ago. Nothing can change it now. I grit my teeth. I can hear them grinding. I don't know why, but I'm so mad. Damn, what the hell was that? Just thinking about it pisses me off. You're the one that... Aren't you the one that was narrating this, Shiro? Man, I'm mad about this. My interpretation about what happened. Her past. The fact that she didn't think anything of it. Me thinking the dream was nothing before. Ah, I hate it. I don't even understand why, but it's making me angry. I don't like it. I don't like it one damn bit. No matter how you slice it, her life was unfair. So unfair. She only wanted to help people. She wanted nothing for herself. But as hard as she worked, nobody understood her. Not even at the very end. That really pisses me off. It's so unfair. That's right. She worked harder than anyone, and she doesn't receive any reward. It's all just a bunch of crap. She should be rewarded for everything she's done. But how could that happen at this point? What? Just tell her she did a good job? Do I tell her how wonderful she was? Of course not. Nothing so simple could do her justice. I know, there's only one answer. That's right. If she has to be rewarded, the work she devoted her life to should be repaid. Artoria needs happiness to match all the battles she fought. But then what can I do? I'm out of ideas. I don't have any idea how to make people happy. I'm so useless at this kind of thing. My entire life, I wanted to be a champion of justice, but all I ever did was lend a hand here and there. I believed everyone around me would be happy if I just helped people. Or rather, I couldn't face myself if I didn't believe that. Helping people and saving people are very much not the same thing. If I don't understand the difference myself, I can't possibly reward Saber. Breakfast is the same as usual. I get the sense Saber and Tosaka are pretty adaptable since they've already gotten used to Ilya being here.
で、あんたはどうするのよ、シロ。残るマスターは3人。聖杯戦争だって期限がないってわけじゃないんだから、そろそろ行動に移らないとまずいわよ。いつも後手を踏むってのも情けないし。
Honestly, reacting is probably a better idea, I would think. But okay. Counterattacking is typically a smarter move than just, doing the first attack. Tosaka's right. There's nothing wrong with me physically, and Saber is completely healed. We should be done resting as of yesterday. You're right, you say we need to make a move, but it'll have to be at night. We're going to do the same things we've been doing during the day.
本気？まあ、相手の情報がないんだから闇雲に出歩いても仕方がないけどさ。じゃあ、シロは今日もセイバーにいじめられるわけ？
I'm going to continue my sword training with Saber. That's what we've been doing every day, and a master should always be prepared for battle.
リン、私とシロが行っているのは鍛錬です。今の発言は人聞きが悪すぎます。
Well, actually, yeah, I'm going to get beaten up by Saber in the morning like usual.
シロ、あなたまでそのように言われては私の立場がないのですが。
Oh, sorry, Saber. I wasn't listening.
ですから、リンの言いぶりは乱暴すぎるという件です。まったく、どうしたのです、シロ。今朝は覇気が感じられません。朝食もどことなく彩りに欠けますし、昨日も遅くまで蔵にいたのですか？
Saber may be questioning me, but there's no real bite to it. I can sense that she trusts me, which makes it even harder to meet her gaze now. If our eyes meet, I can't help thinking of that scene in the hill. On the hill.
わかりました。後ほどカツを入れて差し上げます。それでは今日も道場で鍛錬をするでいいのですね、シロ。
Yeah, what about you, Elia?
私も昨日と同じだよ。雨に濡れるのは嫌いだから外に出たくないわ。
Got it. Perfect. Rather you stay in the house since it's dangerous to go outside.
昨日みたいにお弁当作ってくれるなら一緒にいてあげてもいいよ。
It seems like Ilya took a liking to the bento yesterday. I'm a little embarrassed that something so simple pleased her, but at the same time I'm glad to know Ilya enjoyed the bento I made.
なんだ、それじゃあ昨日と同じってことね。私も調べ物があるから部屋にこもるけど、午後になったら顔を出しなさい。ちょっと話があるから。
調べ物ですか？
そう、セイバーなら分かってると思うけど、昨日から竜道寺の様子がおかしいのよ。あれだけ精力的にやってた魔力集めも止まってるし、何か動きがあったのは明白でしょ。まあ残ったマスターの中で一番厄介そうなのは竜道寺のやつだしね。使いまでもこしらえて中の様子を探ってみるわ。
それでしたら探索に専念した方がいいのではないですか？無理に時間を割いてシロに享受する必要はないと思いますが。
まあそこはそれ。悪いけど我慢してちょうだい。私もね、まだ危なっかしくて放っておけないのよ。敵に殺されるのならいいけど、魔術をしくじって自滅でもされたら死として面目がないでしょ。
はい、リンの言う通りです。私はどうかしていました。リンの授業が必要ないなんてどうして思ってしまったのか。
その理由は簡単だけど、まあ知らぬが花ってことで。それじゃあ午前中の鍛錬頑張ってね。そいつ頑丈だから死なない程度に痛めつけるぐらいが最適よ。
That Tosaka leaves the room. Saber, take what Tosaka says with a grain of salt. She can say that because she's never been hit by you. I take her just in case. I tell her just in case. For some reason, she seems pleased.
はい、分かっています。シロの体に関してなら私の方が熟知していますから。
She responds calmly.
どうしました？食べないのですか、イリアスフィール。昨日に比べるとまだ3割にも届いていませんが。
違うよ、こっちのは食べられないの。私辛いのはダメなんだ。
はあ、そう辛いとは思いませんが、この香辛料は鶏肉に合っています。
マスタードは嫌いなんだってば。
Mustard,
い
really?
いから食べて。その代わりそっちのイチゴの食べてあげる。
Mustard?
何をするのです、イリアスフィール。こら戻しなさい。それはダメです。甘いものが欲しいならリンゴのパイがあるでしょう。
Elia and Saber sit next to each other, bickering like two close sisters. Just past noon. Three of us sit and face each other, eating lunch together just like yesterday. Or right, it's not just lunch that's the same as yesterday. Our training today was as well. Today, though, is even more awkward. I don't know how to explain it, but something in my chest stirs whenever I face Saber. I find myself unable to rush at her with the same desperation I used to. Yeah, Ilya... I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I guess this is just what she normally acts like. It's just it feels a little off. Like she really is just super absurdly carefree. Like at least Ren is like helping a little bit, but like what's going on with Ilya just not even. She's acting like I know that she just wants to hang out with Shiro, but like this seems excessive to be this selfish, I guess. Maybe. No, you're right. I mean, Paimon really is just like, I eat and I worry, and that's all I do. Like that's literally it. In this case, Ilya's not even worrying about Shiro. She's just like, do you really gotta train? Do you really gotta be prepared for the rest of this Holy Grail War? Does it really matter? It's like, what the heck? What? Ilya, you could be telling us like anything about the Ainsburns, or I mean, her magic is actually more useful than Rin's for scoping out other people's areas. You know, she's got good familiars. Yeah, I know, it's weird. I mean, I've heard that they don't care about okay. The problem is that I deep dived into the Ainsburns as much as I could the other day after the last stream, and oh my gosh, there's so little info. Like, if you want to know about the Ainsburns, don't look at Fate Stay Night lore. You gotta go look at either Fate Grand Order lore or Fate Apocrypha lore or kinda sort of Fate Collide Liner. Yeah, the Ainsburns are like way too passive. Like, I get it, because like they like after like the third, I think after the third Grail War, they didn't believe that they could win. Like, I think the third war they were as prepared as they possibly could be. So they're like, oh, okay, there's just no way, I guess. Well, also the problem was that their representative always had like very limited emotions and very limited imagination. I mean, heck, Iliasville in the Fourth Grail War just straight up dies, even though she had Saber, because like they were just separated for like an hour or two or whatever, and that was enough time for her to get killed. And it was like, Iliasville is like really capable, but like, yeah, I guess just, you know, the war is chaotic, to be fair. Yeah, it's not just me. Saber has been acting weird too. It used to be that she never let an opening go by. Last couple of days, she's just waited for me to make a move, which has meant the two of us just kind of ended up staring at each other for a while. Oh, yes, criticism helped us get back into the swing of things. I managed to go after Saber, but it ended up pretty much the same. She batted aside my half-assed attack, but didn't bother countering. Since she didn't follow up, I whirled on Saber, lunged again, and was once more repelled, though she again didn't counterattack. Lackluster session ended about 10 minutes ago. Once again, it was Saber's suggestion. We began our lunch break. We're having the same thing we did yesterday. Sandwiches. Figured it wouldn't do this to make them exactly the same as yesterday, so I used a few other ingredients. Everyone seems happy. Ilya is excited over the colorful sandwiches. Saber takes a deep breath, preparing for a meal. Apparently we're ignoring that Ilya said that she doesn't want to eat her sandwich and that she hates mustard, but okay, apparently. I think that's Saber's way of showing her enthusiasm. It's much rowdier than yesterday. Raining, the hardwood floor is cold, but this also feels like a picnic. Like, it's really weird to think about Ilya and Shinji and Sakura when it comes to what's going to happen in the Unlimited Blade Works route, because like I don't think they get any more lore from them at all. Like, yeah, they're involved in Heaven's Field, but like I thought that we got like a little more info here and there in each of the routes, but no, not really. Just for some reason we get like probably the most info in this route, and then in the next route they're like, we're so focused on other stuff that some characters just practically get thrown in the garbage when it comes to like learning more about them. Yeah, I've heard all the Ilya root stuff. Which, I mean... What's weird when people say, like, oh, well, technically the heavens... technically, you know, you learn a lot about her in Heaven's Feel and stuff, but, like, I don't know how you would do a whole route with her. I guess it would be, like, more Hercules focused. I mean, I'm planning to play Ataraxia, and I think our Ataraxia probably has more Ilya, but I don't know how much. So, yeah. Oh, they merged it into the Heaven's Feel route. Okay, that makes sense, yeah. She did feel very there in the movie. I was like, oh, she's still around, not really doing much, and then she shows up with that dress at the end, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't get it. No, there's no way there was going to be a Shinji route. I think they just had to play down his role. Because, like, it's so weird that they did so much build up. It's like they were friends, and he's got this backstory with his own family, and then he gets killed unceremoniously in the first route. And then in the second route, like, he lasts a lot longer, but, like, I don't think you learn anything special about him. And then in the third route, I guess you learn more about him technically. Yeah, Ryder. Well, I know Ryder gets a lot of play in Ataraxia, like maybe the most play of all the servants, because of how there's. All I know is that there's time loop stuff. That's all I know. I know nothing else about it. I'm like, how is time loops related? And like, how would it? Like, it seems like it'd be an absurdly long game, because it's like, wait, so it's just this story again, but then time loops, so that there's like really different things that happen. But like, that would make it so that like it'd be super, super long. Like, you know, we're on day 12 today, 13 today, of just one route. So if Ataraxia has multiple loops, I guess they maybe are just super, super short, or maybe jump around multiple days. Like, they go in like one timeline, and then they jump to day 3, jump to day 7. I don't know, something like that. I mean, Ilya's route should be like the most important. I don't think that Rin, well, I mean, I guess Rin didn't really get a route. Okay, fair enough. It was more of like Saber route, Emiya route, and Sakura route. It's weird that like they act like Unlimited Blade Works is the Rin route, but like she didn't do that much. She actually did way more in the Heaven's Feel route. Yeah, I wish that you could actually join Shinji, but it just doesn't seem. I don't know. They just made him way too arrogant, unnecessarily arrogant. Like, why was Shinji and Shiro ever friends when his arrogance during the war is just through the roof, and he just is absurdly unreasonable? Like, yeah, I don't get that. Ilya happily munches on a sandwich. Saber reluctantly wipes Ilya's mouth with a napkin. Well, I didn't see this coming. Saber and Ilya seem to have warmed up to each other. This is... Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I believe that entirely. It makes sense. Like, so it'd basically be like, do you want to join Shinji or do you want to join Rin? And it's like, okay, that makes sense. Though that's probably when their ideas were a lot more free form, because obviously the choices are like almost non-existent in the end product of this game. It's mostly just you're going down this route and that's it, and there's no deviation. It's just no, go down this route. You get more or less information from some choices, but nothing else. Whereas that one that you described is more of like, okay, this actually seems like branches, like multiple different branches, rather than just branch A, B, or C, and that's it. In that version, I mean, when I think the first idea of Fate Stay Night was that it was always going to be that it was going to be focusing on Saber originally, and I think everything with Rin and Sakura came into fruition, you know, after the original prototype idea. Because it wasn't always supposed to be like about relationships. Like it wasn't supposed to even be kind of like a dating simulator. There was like the original idea of the Holy Grail War. I mean, you can see some of this when you look at the Fate prototype trailer. That like the location was supposed to be really different, the vibe was supposed to be really different. It was supposed to be way darker. That 10-minute trailer of the original prototype idea is like so much more interesting. Of like magic being so much more mystical looking and bloody compared to what we ended up getting, which is like weirdly clean. Like they talk about rituals, but like you don't really see rituals. Rin has barely used magic. She's just like, I got some of these gems. Okay, I used the gems. Okay, that's about it. That's pretty much all we saw. And Shinji isn't even really a mage, so we didn't see him do magic really. And yeah, Shiro doesn't use normal magic. I don't know. At this point, I don't think Prototype's going to get made. It's also confusing because the prototype Star Silver, right? There's that adaptation, isn't it? Let's see. Or am I thinking? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Fate prototype Star Silver. Wait, no. Fragment. Sorry, Fragment of Sky Silver. You know, that one exists, so like I think if they were gonna do anything, it would be that one, because it's a completely different version of the story. Because like doing prototype would just overlap too much with the original Fate Stay Night. But at least prototype Fragment is I think it's a shorter story, maybe. He uses different servants. Very different servants. Because the original prototype idea would have... Well, I don't know if I don't think I've ever gone that far into the original prototype idea. Because I know that Saber and Archer... Well, no, Archer... The whole Archer situation would be different. Archer was definitely not in the original. And, oh yeah, Lancer was still there though. But I don't think that they knew what they were going to do about the rest of the classes. I don't think Hercules was in the original prototype idea. I'd have to look that one up though, yeah.
他のやつが私に触れたら殺すけど、セイバーは綺麗だから許してあげる。それに今は同じお弁当を食べる仲間だもの。セイバーが私のこと好きなら、私もセイバーのことは好きよ。
It's so simple for Ilya. Saber, clearly taken aback, stares at Ilya dumbfounded. Even I, just a spectator as this unfolds, am caught off guard by Ilya's smile.
何？セイバーは楽しくないの？
いえ、それは。
No, Paimon is just normal, cheerful fairy type character.
私は楽しいよ。外は雨で、ここはこんな殺風景な場所で欲しかったものは何もない。けどこうしていると嬉しいの。一人でいるよりずっとあったかいでしょ。なのにセイバーは楽しくないの
Yeah, don't worry about Paimon. Don't worry about Paimon. The whole Paimon situation is very confusing right now. We're only going to learn more from now on, hopefully. And at best, maybe. Yeah, don't worry about that. I'm actually a little confused why Ilya isn't mentioning things from the 4th Holy Grail War right now. Like about her mom or anything. Something in Ilya's smile must have struck Saber. Saber sighs deeply and looks back at her.
そうですね。私もこうしているのはとても楽しい。
She sounds bright. And then Saber smiles in a way I've never seen from her. I don't know why, but I'm getting emotional. That smile was great. It was for herself and herself alone. It's not the usual smile I see from her whenever she's protecting someone. It's a smile of sheer happiness from her, from her.
シロ、どうしました？そんな顔して。何かいいことでもあったのですか？
Well, you would think that she'd be like questioning some of the information she got from Nine Springs. Like, I don't know. I'm also confused because like I don't know how much they're gonna address it here, but like I've always heard that she just acts young, but she really does have a mature attitude. But she just acts young because she's trying to get people's trust or something like that. Is what I thought I heard at least. But here it just feels like she's acting a little bit too young, a little bit too consistently. Like, but I guess we get this until she gets serious. Maybe it's just like there's mage battle mode where she's super mature and serious, and then there's when she's not in battle, maybe this is just how she acts, maybe. So maybe it's more of a split personality type of thing. No, nothing. Was I making a funny face?
してたわ。お父さんみたいな顔。遠くからこっちを見守ってますって風なの。
Yeah, again, I thought I heard that like she just messes with people or manipulates them or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
そういう顔は嫌いよ。
Huh? Why? I don't understand what she's talking about, but I guess I was just smiling. I see. Well, something good happened, so I guess I didn't realize I was smiling.
はあ、いいことですか？
Yep, I like the way you smiled just now, Saber. Seeing it made me happy.
難しいですね。そんなことが嬉しいのですか？
Japan.
シロは。
This makes you happy? Why would that make you happy? Is your happiness so cheap? Yep, I guess I like seeing you smile like that, Saber. I've said this twice already. Saber nods, though she doesn't seem convinced. Then, I don't know what came over me, but she smiles and lifts her head.
そうですか。それでは逆ですね、シロ。
What do you mean, the other way?
私はあなたが笑顔でいてくれた方が嬉しい。あなたが笑っていられるなら、私はそれで十分です。
I can't meet Saber's gaze. That smile would make anyone lightheaded. I managed to calm myself down and glance sidelong at Saber. She calmly resumes eating her picnic lunch. Nothing to worry about there. There should be nothing to worry about, yet something is bothering me.
私はあなたが笑顔でいてくれた方が嬉しい。
In that smile I saw for the first time, it seemed like she was contradicting herself. Listen to the rain in Tosaka's room. Today, under the pretense of a magecraft lesson, She performed yet another physical examination. She made more medicine, then checked all my circuits. Not that I mind doing this, I just don't feel like the feeling that I'm not doing anything productive. Tells me not to move so she can see what happens to me, but that doesn't mean I can't talk. Do you have a minute? I call out to her as I sit in the meditative pose.
いいけど何よ。
It's about Saber. I really don't know how to explain it, but I realize I haven't thought this through at all. It's not even a question of what can I do for Saber. I haven't even thought about what I want to do with her. Well, I was just wondering what she wants to do. She's never told us anything she wants to do for herself, so...
セイバーが何を考えているかわからない？
No, it's not that. I just don't know why she's so selfless. Yeah, I just don't know what to do about that.
まあそうよね。セイバーが自発的にやったことってあんたを守ることだけだもの。サーバントとしては当たり前だけど、あそこまで徹底しているとわからなくもなるわ。でもだからといって無欲ってわけはないでしょ。セイバーだって自分の目的のためにあなたを守っているんだから。
Oh, I completely forgot her reason for even becoming a servant. You're right, Saber wants to get the Holy Grail, so it's not like she doesn't have any goals. And that Holy Grail will grant its possessor wish. Its possessor's wish. That means Saber at least has a wish she wants granted. I don't know what it is, but she wants it enough to even become a servant. So it must have some hope of saving her. Like, for example, she's here in this time period, and the power of the Holy Grail can help her so she can stay here and live a second life. She would have to wish for something that big just to make up for all the suffering and tragedy she endured. Oh, then it's actually pretty simple.
気持ち悪いわね。いきなり元気になっちゃって。今の話、そんなに面白かった？
Yeah, I am getting excited, and yeah, she wouldn't be fighting so hard unless it was for something really big. After all, Saber needs to fight for her own wish. I nod to myself. Tosaka, on the other hand, seems utterly bewildered.
エミヤくん、喜んでるところ悪いけど、それはあなたの早とちりよ。セイバーはあなただって分かってるんじゃない？セイバーはそういうタイプじゃないわ。彼女が聖杯を求める理由は決して自分のためじゃないって。
What? What's your reasoning? I can't even ask that. I know. She met her final moments here alone. She met her final moments here, her final moments alone, because she didn't have any desires for herself. So Saber wouldn't seek for her own salvation now. But still, I hoped otherwise, even for a brief moment, so I pushed my distorted desire on her. Conversation trails off, just as I think this silence is gonna continue. Oh god. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning like crazy. I think I'm just getting really stiff, maybe. Just as I think this awkward silence is going to continue forever.
つまんない話だけどね。あーちゃんもあんたと似たようなことを言ってたわ。
Oh, Archer? You mean your Archer?
そう。私もね、あいつに聞いたのよ。あんたの望みは何なのかって。そしたらあいつ、なんて言ったと思う？
I don't know. I never knew a single thing about him. Archer once declared that we were bound to be enemies anyway, so he made it no effort to communicate with Saber or me. And yet, he may have been cynical, but he didn't seem the sort to have stupid objectives in mind.
これがね、聞いたら笑うわよ。望みは何よと聞いたら、あいつったらこう言ったの。
そうだな。恒久的な世界平和というのはどうだ？
もう呆れを通り越して爆笑したわけ。そしたらあいつ、やはり笑われたか、 まあ他人の手による救いなど意味はない。今のは笑い話にしておこうなんて言っていじけちゃってさ。
Yep.
なんかね、ああいうやつだから英霊になんてなっちゃって、私みたいな小娘に刺激されちゃうんだなとか思ったわ。
I see. He didn't look it, but he was a great proud knight in his own right.
けどね、間違わないで。聖杯が本当に全ての願いを叶えるのなら、恒久的な世界平和なんて最悪の願いよ。要するにそれって何もないってことでしょ。争いのない世界なんて死んでるだけよ。物事は動いてないと腐るだけなんだから。
I mean, they could still be motivated, but okay. Yeah. Well, it makes me wonder about like Kiritsugu. Never said it, but that was his goal as well. That was his wish, even though it was never phrased that way, I think. Yeah. I mean, I never really understood why Rin was so cynical. Even as a kid. Again, like, her views toward Kotomine were weird, because she hated Kotomine from the first second she ever saw him, when before he had done anything even questionable or even had really talked to her at all. And she was just some little kid, but she was like really weirdly arrogant for like a 5-year-old. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of wondering, like, is the visual novel gonna go into any meaningful detail between their relationship? But I feel like they're not gonna do it. Like, I feel like it's just a really simple thing. She just hates him for no good reason, and I don't know. I mean, I don't really know why she's been living the life that she's been living this whole time in the first place. Oh, does he have that many monologues? Oh, wow. Well, yeah, that's true. Okay. I can already think of one in this route, one in Unlimited Blade Works, maybe two, maybe, and then Heaven's Feel. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 in Heaven's Feel. They had to cut most of his monologues. What? Oh yeah, that's right. I just remembered the Mapo Tofu monologue. I just remembered that one. That one that came out of nowhere just for no reason. He's like, "Oh man, I get to talk now." To be fair, I definitely would prefer for him to talk over almost any of the rest of the characters I've seen so far. Most of these people have very basic ideas. Did you tell Archer that too?
言ったわよ。そしたらあいつ、それが賢者の考えだ。
That's what the wise would think.
私も同意見だが、今でもこれだけは愚者の夢を守っているのだ。だってさ。まあ、それはいいから、それじゃあ他の望みはあるのかって言ったら、あるにはあるが、聖杯で叶えるほどのものでもなし。私の分は君に譲ろうとかなんとか。キザでしょ？あいつ、きっと生前は女たらしだったに違いないわ。
Huh? I really didn't get that impression from him. What's your point here, Tosaka?
別に、サーバントにもいろいろいるってことを話しただけ。
Is that so? Well, I guess it was good for me to know, so it was at least kind of helpful.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。まあ私もセイバーに関することなんだけど。
Huh? I do remember you saying you wanted to talk to me about something this morning.
ええ、大したことじゃないんだけど少し気になって。今更になるんだけど、エミヤ君はアーサー王の伝説を知ってる？
The legend of King Arthur. I've been reminded of it more than enough in the past few days. I know as much as the next person, although I didn't know King Arthur was a girl.
そうね。けど性別に関してはどうでもいいのよ。別にアーサー王が女の子だったとしても、伝説そのものに変更を加える必要はないでしょ。アーサー王、幸いアーサー王にはマーリンっていう魔術師がついてたしね。インキュバスとの根血だっていう悪魔じめたやつだから、アーサー王の性別を偽装したり、生まれないはずの子供を用意するってのもお手の物だったんでしょ。
Wow, we're setting we're setting the seeds of this already. I wasn't sure when it was confirmed everything about Mordred. I assumed that was after Fate's Day Night. Yeah, I bet. So?
だから私が問題にしているのは伝説と今のセイバーの食い違いよ。ねえエミヤくん、あなたはエクスカリバーがどういうものか知っていて？
Why ask this now? Excalibur is a symbol of King Arthur. It's the sword fairies gave her, famed for being able to cut through anything without ever dueling.
やっぱりそんなことだろうと思ったわ。
Tosaka looks oddly triumphant. Was that a weird thing to say?
言ったわよ。あなたもアーサー王と同じ間違いをしたってこと。マーリンがいたら未熟者ってどやされてるわ。
Why is that? The sword in the stone wasn't Excalibur. That sword broke. You later received another sword from a fairy in the lake, and that was Excalibur, right?
そうそう。エクスカリバーをアーサー王が受け取った時にね、マーリンはこう問いかけるの。王よ、あなたがお気に召したのはどちらの方ですかな？剣か、それとも鞘ですか？アーサー王はためらいもなく剣の方だと答えるんだけど、マーリンは叱責するの。お間違えめさるな。剣は敵を撃つものですが、鞘はあなたを守るもの。その鞘を身につけている限り、あなたは血を流すこともなく負傷することもない。真に大事とすべきは剣ではなく鞘なのです。
Tosaka skillfully acts out the parts of King Arthur and Merlin. Look at you, Tosaka. You're getting into the part. So what's your point?
何ってここまで聞いてわからない？つまりアーサー王は不死者なの。エクスカリバーっていうのは攻守ともに無敵の宝具なのよ。だから本当ならセイバーは傷を負ってもすぐに治るはずだってこと。
Tosaka, Saber's wounds do heal.
それはそうだけど、セイバーの自己回復はセイバーのバカみたいに膨大な魔力を使った力技にしか見えないっていうか、ともかく伝説のエクスカリバーの
I see. If you say so, it's
気がするのよ。
Then here's my question. You say that King Arthur is immortal, so then why and how did King Arthur die? Legend ends with King Arthur's death, right? Tosaka's mouth drops open. After freezing up for a few seconds, she grinds her teeth and looks away.
そうだった。エクスカリバーの鞘は途中で敵に盗まれたんだ。
A rookie mistake right there. I'd forgotten, but according to legend, King Arthur's fate was sealed the moment the king lost the all-important sheath. So are you convinced now, Tosaka?
言ったわよ。笑い物にしたいならすればいいわ。
She doesn't mean that. I can tell she's ready to kick me in the head the moment I laugh at her. It's all good as long as you understand now. But why did that bother you so much? Did it matter to you whether Saber gets hurt or not?
うるさいわね。何よ、ちょっとそうだったら無敵だなーなんて舞い上がっただけじゃない。私だってね、たまには間違えることぐらいあるわよ。
This is a tough one. Would there be any benefit in me pointing out that she makes mistakes a lot? Not just sometimes? Like more than 50% of the time. By the time the sun sets, the rain stopped completely. Based on our conversation during breakfast, we're heading to town to look for the other master. But I should check something beforehand. I should check Saber's intentions. What is her purpose in fighting? But I shouldn't just ask her straight out. I'll need to be casual about it. I hype myself up a bit, then push to my feet. Living room seems like a good starting place. I'm going to leverage the peaceful pre-dinner mood to try to get through Saber's stubborn nature. What if, hypothetically, what would we do if we won the Holy Grail War? So much for casual. Thought about it a lot and couldn't come up with anything smooth, so blunt it is.
Eh? Huh?
Huh? Huh? Huh? All three of them offer more or less the same response, though with slightly different expressions. Like I said, after we win, I want to talk about what to do once we obtain the Holy Grail.
そんなの説明されなくてもわかるけど、どういう風の吹き回しよ。
What
あん
does
たが
this
そんなこと
matter?
言い出すなんて。
Saber and Elia don't nod, but they do seem to share an opinion on the subject. Guess this was kind of weird to bring up out of nowhere. But I have to play dumb for now. Yeah, well, I'm just asking. There are only 3 servants left, so it's not such an unrealistic thought. So, you know, the end is kind of in sight.
まあ言われてみればそうよね。いくら四郎だってこの状況ならそれぐらいは考えるか。好きで始めたことじゃないって言っても命を張ってる以上は報酬ぐらい気になるだろうし。
Yeah, I would think that. I'm glad Tosaka likes to focus on the reason for things. Tosaka will allow for the possibility of anything that seems logical, which is really one of her better qualities. This is just something I brought up to discuss it though. So what about you, Tosaka? What would you do if you got the Holy Grail? Try to be as natural as possible with this.
そうね。私は勝つことしか考えてなかったから、聖杯に叶えてもらうような目的はないわ。とりあえず聖杯を手に入れるけど、その後のことは考えてなかったな。
So she's fighting because she doesn't want to lose. I figured that was the case, but didn't know for sure until she said it herself.
切れた。一番ものを考えていそうで、実は一番考えてないのよね、リンは。言うじゃない。じゃあそういうあんたはどうなのよ、イリアスフィール。そんなの知らない。聖杯は私のだから誰にも渡すなって言われただけよ。もともと私のものなんだから、そんなものに興味あるわけないじゃない。要するに聖杯より聖杯戦争の方が楽しいってこと？当然よ。私は勝つためだけに来たんだもの。聖杯の使い道なんてどうでもいいわ。
They're 2 peas in a pod. The 2 stare at each other in silence. They seem to be coming to some sort of understanding. Saber doesn't say anything. She probably doesn't intend to join the conversation. No matter how much she resists, I still have to ask. I have a good idea of your goals. Try to turn as natural as possible. Turn as naturally as possible. So what about you, Saber? He's been quiet this whole time. Saber doesn't reply, sensing that something's amiss. Tosaka and Elia stop and turn towards Saber. The silence stretches out for maybe a minute.
今更語るまでもありませんが、聖杯を手に入れるのは私の義務です。聖杯がどれほどの許容範囲を持っているかは知らない。ですがそれが聖杯である限り、私は聖杯を手に入れなくてはなりません。そして無論、聖杯が私の望みを叶えられるなら、望みを叶えるだけですが。
There it is. Saber's just said she has a wish of her own. I see. So what is your wish? Try to calm my racing heart and keep composed as I ask. Saber doesn't answer. Fine, that's fine. If she can't answer, chances are good it's because her wish is a selfish one. Knowing Saber, she may hesitate to reveal her wish to anyone if she's wishing for something selfish. I think I'd rather she keep quiet than make something up. I can feel myself trying to back away from the question I raised.
何？それってそんなに難しいこと？サーバントの望みは現世に蘇ることだっておじいさまは言ってたわ。英霊たちは二度目の生を得るために聖杯を求めるんだって。セイバーだってそうじゃないの？
Saber jerks her head up. If that's what she wanted, there would be no problem. Which means...
いいえ、二度目の生に関心はありません。私の目的は聖杯を手に入れることのみです。もともと好みは聖杯を手に入れる代償としてサーバントになったのですから。
I figured that much. Someone who took an oath and drew the sacred sword wouldn't seek a second life.
ちょっと待って、聖杯を手に入れることと引き換えにサーバントになった？それって英霊になる時の契約のこと？
はい。好みをサーバントとする交換条件として私は聖杯を求めたのです。
じゃあ何？あなたって聖杯を手に入れるために呼び出されたサーバントじゃなくて、聖杯を手に入れるために自分からサーバントになったっていうの？
I don't know the difference on what is being said here. Tosaka stares at Saber. She tilts her head, confused.
つまりセイバーは英霊だから呼び出されたんじゃなくて、自分からこの戦いに参加したってこと？けどサーバントである以上英霊として祀られているんだから、自分からこっちの世界に関わるなんてできっこないわよね。じゃあセイバーはサーバントのルールから大きく外れてるってわけでもないし、もうちょっと待ってね、今整理するから。
いいえ、整理するまでもありません。リンが言ったことは正しい。私は他のサーバントとは違います。
Okay, this is where I keep getting like mixed up on exactly what's going on with this. It's very weird.
私はまだ完全にサーバントになったわけではないのですから。
I have heard some bizarre stuff about this. So the wording here is she has yet to become a complete servant. So she is basically just an immortal. But it's confusing because she still is a servant, because she still materializes and is made up of magical energy. So what's the difference between that and just an immortal person who also becomes magical particles to be summoned, you know?
完全にサーバントになっていない？
What does that mean? Well, first of all, what does it mean to become a servant? Saber just said she agreed to become a servant as the price she had to pay to obtain the Holy Grail. Which means, hold on a minute, are servants forced to fight as the price to get what they want? Yeah.
いいえ、
What?
それは違います。もともとサーバントというのはこの聖杯戦争だけの特別な使い魔です。
I don't get it.
サーバントとは英霊の特性を利用した召喚魔術。元は英霊なのですから、サーバントにパンを得た代わりに労働をするという決まりはありません。
そうね、サーバントシステムってのはもともと守護精霊である英霊を利用したものだもの。元からあるものを使ってるわけだから、サーバント側にもマスター側にも代償として支払うものはない。けどサーバントになる前、人間から英霊になるには代償行為が必要だって聞いたことがある。 英霊っていうのは人間の守護者でしょ。彼らは死した後も人間のために働いて、人の世の滅亡を水面下で防ぐのだとか。で、そういった守護者になるには、生前まだ英雄として現役だった頃に何かと取引をしなくてはならない。それが英霊の契約。世界に死後の自分を明け渡す儀式。交換条件によって財を得た者が英雄となり、英雄としてやりたいことをやった後、死後はサーバントとしてもらった財を返す。つまり英雄になるために借金をして、死んだ後は英霊になることで借金を返すってこと。
Basically, in order to become a hero in life, go into a sort of debt, which they then repay as a heroic spirit after life. I mean, after death. I mean, sure, but whatever, not
サー
really.
バントっていうのは、その返済金額を横から私たちにかすめ取られて使益されてるってわけ。
Yeah, I think this is a bad explanation. So you're saying humans become heroes by making some sort of trade, and in return they get used and summoned as heroic spirit familiars after their death. Which means the deal Saber made to become a heroic spirit was for the Holy Grail. Since Saber obtained the Holy Grail in her lifetime, the price she has to pay is serving as a heroic spirit, a sort of guardian, even after death. That doesn't sound right. Saber said that her goal was the Holy Grail, but she already obtained it, since she became a hero in exchange for the Holy Grail War. She became a hero in exchange for the Holy Grail. That doesn't sound right. Saber said that her goal was the Holy Grail, but she already obtained it. She then became a hero in exchange for the Holy Grail.
いいえ、シロ。私はまだ
Nope, I never got the Holy Grail. Artoria, King Arthur's wish was to obtain the Holy Grail during their lifetime.
私は死ぬ前に
I had to obtain the Holy Grail
聖杯を
before I
手に入れな
died.
ければならなかった。そのためにもし聖杯が手に入るなら死後は守護者になっても良いと条件を飲んだのです。リンの言う通り、人間は英雄になるために世界と契約をし、人間以上の力を授かり、その代償として死後の自分を売り渡します。ですが私は英雄になるときに世界の後ろ盾を必要としなかった。
Okay, I didn't need help from the world.
幸いなことにアーサー王は英雄になるための支援を必要としなかったのです。
So Saber became a hero on her own.
けどあなたは英霊としてここにいる。アーサー王は英雄になった後で世界に違う交換条件を求めたってこと？
はい。私は最後の時にどうしても聖杯が必要になった。聖杯がなければ我慢できなかった。叶えなくてはいけない願いができてしまった。だから英霊の契約をしたのです。私の手に聖杯が握られるなら死後は英霊となってあらゆるもののために剣を取ろうと。
In her last moments, she wished for the Holy Grail's miracle. Now I understand her feelings. A blood-soaked hill, swords standing on gravestones, bodies of so many knights, a long king whose reign ended in betrayal. She didn't deserve the end she met. Even if she hadn't had a wish of her own before, she must have thought, I can't die here, this isn't the end I want. And that's why there is no shame in using the power of the Holy Grail to prolong her life.
そう。つまり死後の自分を売り払ってまで聖杯を手に入れられる手段を取ったのね。けどセイバー、あなたの出した条件っていうのは生きているうちに聖杯を手に入れるでしょ。なら、
はい。私が生きているうちに聖杯探索は成し得なかった。私はアーサー王は最後まで聖杯を手に入れることができなかったのです。
Yeah, this was already known.
ですが、それでは契約が成り立ちません。世界が私をサーバントにするには、アーサー王が生きているうちに聖杯を与えねばならない。ですから、
アーサー王は
feel like we're talking in circles here.
死なない。いいえ、死ぬことができない。
King Arthur will not die until she obtains the Holy Grail. That is to say, she can't die. Yeah, I feel like her knowledge of Britain is exactly as much knowledge as Nasu has, which is nothing. Just like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's no indications that they know anything about life outside of Japan. Like, I think they usually say they got the knowledge because they just get it, you know, for free when they become summoned. But like, it's weird how so many servants like never react to the information they get from their mini history lesson that they get.
それじゃああなた。
はい。
Yeah.
アーサー王と呼ばれていた私は死を迎える一瞬で止まっているはずです。時間軸から見れば私はとうに滅びているでしょう。で、アーサー王は死の直前でサーバントとして召喚され、聖杯を手に入れた後死ななければならないのです。
時間が止まってるんじゃなくて時間に止まってる状態か。あなたがサーバントとして何度戦いを繰り返しても構わない。最終的には聖杯を手に入れて契約を果たすことは決まっているんだから、そう
です。いつかは聖杯を手に入れ、私は契約を果たす。だからこそ英霊になる前からいずれ英霊化が決定しているという条件であらゆる時代に召喚される。それはこの町の聖杯だけではありません。聖杯が手に入る可能性があるならば、私はどの戦場にも召喚される。
I mean, this is...
そうしていつかは聖杯を手に入れ、私の望みを叶えた時こそ、死の直前で止まっていた私の時間は進みます。
I mean, this isn't much different than any other servant. They all just want to obtain the Holy Grail and have their wish granted. She just wants to do it when she's alive. That's it. That's the only difference.
アーサー王は最後の時を迎え、聖杯を手に入れた代償として、こうして英霊となるのでしょう。
死の直前で覚めない夢を見ているようなものか。
Well, that's the question. We don't know if she can't dematerialize because of the connection with Shiro, or if it's because of her being alive. But the fact that she can be teleported with a command spell, and she has to be summoned, you know, with a summoning circle, I'm pretty sure that a normal master would be able to allow her to dematerialize.
今回の聖杯戦争も
I think.
セイバー
But
に
I
と
don't
っては
know.
夢の一つ。
I've never actually, until like a year ago, I think I never heard about this detail where it's like, oh, she's alive the whole time. And it's like, wait, I don't understand. Like, how's this? Well, they're like acting like this adds like another layer to everything, but like it really doesn't, because at the end of the day, she is still made of magic particles. You know, if she died, she's still gonna disintegrate. She's not getting like reincarnated every time she gets summoned, as far as I know.
そして夢から覚めるのは聖杯を手に入れた時だけ。
リンはシローが未熟だから私を霊体化できないと言いましたね。けれどそれは違う。私は
Oh,
未だ死者ではないから
well,
霊体にはなれないのです。
okay, well, there we go. There we go. They're saying it right now. Wait, no, is this? Wait, no. Okay, no, I was just trying to remember. Wait, in Fate Zero, did they explain it this way? But I don't remember actually. Yeah, I know. I heard about the memory thing and stuff, but like, it's still weird. It's so weird. This feels like a layer that I don't care about. Like, it's just a layer on the story that's like, I'm extra special, or maybe it's even like to explain, oh, see, she's not going to be able to dematerialize like the other servants, and I don't know why that's so important. That Nasu was like, I got to make sure that that is not allowed because it's too advantageous, I guess.
半端な扱いですが、これでも位置づけは聖者ですから。前回の聖杯戦争でも私はそうだった。
Yeah, here they talk about the memories, right? Saber's tone is apologetic. She probably feels bad for laying the blame for her not being able to enter spirit form on my ineptitude. I don't care about that, but there's something I need to know. What do you mean you're not dead? I got that you won't die until you obtain the Holy Grail, and based on how you described it, you haven't been alive since the time of King Arthur. But then who are you right now? You're not a clone of the real person or anything, right?
はい。こちらに呼び出される英霊というのは、すべて本体の分身のようなものですが、私はまだその位置に達していません。聖杯を手に入れるまでは、死の直前に止まったままで呼び出されている。リンの言った通り、アーサー王は時間という大河の上で停止している。私はその位置から前か後ろかに飛んで聖杯を求めた後、止まっている場所に戻っているのでしょう。
Okay. Oh my fucking what the fuck is this shit? Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? They really needed a chart to explain anything about the Throne of Heroes. The Throne of Heroes before this moment is just such a bizarre situation. But yeah, basically they're just trying to explain that like time is an illusion for them. Past, present, future, time axis. Arthur dies, except not really. And then summoned again, and then summoned again. Is this canon? We don't know. Why is it the Battle of Camlin like not aligned with when Arthur died? Whatever. I guess it kind of is. Okay. I tried to diagram it all in my head. Oh my gosh, this is his head diagram? Oh yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty simple once I visualize it. King Arthur is stopped in time at the moment before she dies, but that doesn't matter to the wider flow of time. It continues on all the way to the present. We already know that Shiro can't understand this, by the way. She jumps to whatever time she's needed, then returns to her own frozen moment in time after she completes her duty. If she manages to obtain the Holy Grail in one of the times she visits, she'll be swept back into the proper flow of time and die, just as she does in the history we know. But based on what I heard that she ends up I think canonically she ends up not going back to the Throne of Heroes. That's what I've heard. Which is confusing. Like she actually just dies and doesn't want the Grail, so she just doesn't return to the throne, I think. But yeah, I don't know enough. Oh my! Oh no! Oh no! Maybe that's how heroic spirits work. Person dies, a hero dies, and then goes to the throne, removed from the time axle. A cycle of reincarnation. Wait, the cycle of reincarnation is confirmed? I didn't know that we had reincarnation in the Fate universe. I thought we just had people who looked similar for no good reason. I didn't know that this was actually canon in any way. Maybe that's how heroic spirits work. When they die, they're transferred back to a sort of nexus where the flow of time stops. And then when they're summoned, they are taken to that point in time, then disappear without ever returning. That's probably what is meant by heroic spirits being doubles. Kind of like a clone made from their original selves. Heroic spirit, which completely retains the abilities and the memories they had while alive, appears in the world and gains more knowledge, but it's all useless. They have no means to return to their original body, instead just disappear. Is this actually accurate? I don't think this is accurate. Because there's a so this explanation is supposed to be that these are just temporary copies of the original person, and when they die, they just die and don't mean anything for the original copy. But I could have sworn that there's times where people do return. There's plenty of times where servants talk about returning to the Throne of Heroes when they die. So that seems like a retcon. Like it says they have no means to return to their original body, but like when they disappear, when they die, what's stopping them from just turning around and going back to the Throne of Heroes? I don't know. And so no matter how many times or in how many different areas they're summoned, there will never be any inconsistencies in the heroic spirit's memories. From the moment the person becomes a heroic spirit, it will never change. Even if they obtain new knowledge, they will just disappear once their role is over. So in that sense, Saber is not a complete servant. After each time she's summoned, she eventually returns to her own time. I think this is kind of like a reincarnation cycle. It's almost like she's being reincarnated instead of being summoned. Well, kind of, sort of. She goes back to that moment where she's about to die on that blood-soaked hill. Oops. Oh no. Okay, it's fine.
ちょっと待った。じゃあ何？今回聖杯を手に入れたら元の時代に戻ってその時代で聖杯を使うってこと？それって過去の改ざんじゃない。時間旅行にしても平行世界の運営にしてもそれは魔法の領域よ。そんなのできるわけがないわ。
それを可能とするのが聖杯でしょう。そうして聖杯さえ使えるのならば、私はサーバントとなってもいいと契約したのです。聖杯を使うことでアルトリアという人物が消え去ろうとも、今の私が英霊となることを代償として。
Saber is so matter of fact about it. Doesn't sound right though. Using the Holy Grail to grant my wish is fine, but why would that mean Artoria has to disappear? What the hell? Artoria is going to disappear by using the Holy Grail? That's messed up. Saber, you're not going to... I see the image of the girl dying on that hill all alone. You're not going to use the Holy Grail to save yourself?
なぜそのようなことを言うのです、シロ。私の望みは 国を滅びから救うことだけな
Oh
の
my
です
gosh.
が。
So we were going so roundabout over and over and over. Good. She wants to change the timeline. I can feel my expression tensing up. I thought I knew Saber's wish, but now my head is spinning and I feel like throwing up. Why? And yet, I try to push air from my lungs and get that one word out.
なぜも何もないでしょう。私は国を守れなかった。国を守るために王となったのに、その責務を果たせなかった。その時に思ったのです。岩の剣は間違えて私を選んでしまったのではないかと。
That's ridiculous. Why would she think that? Because she failed?
いいえ、
That's
その
why.
迷いは常に私の中にありました。私は王にふさわしくないのではないか。本当に選ばれるべき英雄は他にいたのではないのかと。あの時、政権を抜いてしまった時、国を救えなかった私より国を救えたはずのふさわしい王がいたはずです。
And so if I could use the power of the Holy Grail to
も
redo
し
the
聖杯の
selection.
力で王の選定をやり直すことができるなら、その時に戻ればきっと。
Is she thinking that her nation wouldn't be destroyed if she was able to go back to that moment? I feel faint. I'm really angry at Saber for wishing for such a ridiculous thing. The feeling passes in an instant, though. Probably look like a deer in the headlights. Isn't it obvious? Saber's wish is not for herself, and on top of that, she wishes for her own elimination. She exists because she became king by drawing the sacred sword. To pretend that never happened means she simply wouldn't exist. Let's say we use a Holy Grail to grant her wish. Artoria would never become king. She would just live in a timeline where she is an ordinary knight. But then what would happen to the Saber I know? Even if it's only temporary, she already exists as a heroic spirit. If her wish is granted, she will continue on, but as a being meant only for fighting. She's already paid the price for obtaining the Holy Grail, so the Saber I know will continue existing even if Artoria never becomes king. But she will cut off from the past and the future. She will always and only ever be the lonely knight dying on that blood-soaked hill. That's idiotic. I won't allow it. There's no hope of salvation there. Even if she was able to do it all over, and there really was a better king, and her nation did manage to last longer, and if she was herself saved, it'd all be lies. Even if it was made everyone around her happy, I can't just let the past 10 years she fought through be a lie. No, you can't do that. You can't redo things. It wouldn't mean anything if you did, Saber.
白、
Don't use the Holy Grail for something like that. You obtain the Holy Grail because you fight for it. You should use that miracle for yourself. That is herself.
ですから私は自分のために使うと言っているではあ
Her
りませんか。
desire is to save Britain. Therefore, yeah.
私、
あ
アルトリアは王としての責務を果たさなければ。
How does she not understand? You've already done more than your duty. You've done so much already. You didn't give up even when you were feared, and even when you were betrayed. You held onto your sword until the end on that hill. Sword, guys. She was holding her sword on the hill, surely, even though that's not really what it looked like. But okay, sure. So why? Why do you have to keep such promises even after you die? Saber looks bewildered. Ah, too late to regret what I said. Shouldn't have just blurted out that I've been dreaming of Saber's past. A heavy silence hangs between us. I can't think what to say. Even I can tell speaking up will just make things worse right now. But I just can't keep quiet. Saber, I don't like it when people aren't rewarded for their hard work. It's wrong. It's not fair. I get that it's childish, but I want to believe that humans can find happiness if they really work on it. I'm not going to lose to the other masters. I'm claiming the Holy Grail, no question. That's why I want you to make your own wish. That way, I'll actually find some meaning in this stupid war. That's the conclusion I reached. I don't know what the Holy Grail is, nor do I know if it's even something you should try to obtain. But if it could save Saber even a little, then I'll go all out for her. The sound of heavy bells rings out, and the house suddenly goes dark. The air changes immediately. The lights go out, but Saber, Tosak, and I don't say a word. We try to gauge our surroundings with our senses. The loud ringing stops and the living room goes silent. And yet, soft rustling sound ripples through the house.
今の警告音、この屋敷の結界？
My guess is it's Lancer. That's my best guess. I nod in silence. It's the same sound as when Lancer broke in. Then that can only mean... The sounds are getting closer, louder. Something is sliding against or across something else. Sounds like a swarm of bugs rushing toward the light. The only place that sound doesn't seem to be coming from is the living room. It's not even been a minute since the lights went out, and we're surrounded on all sides by that sound. An enemy, but it doesn't seem like a servant. There's just too many of them. Whatever people might say, I do have some knowledge of mages and magecraft. Even I can sense that there's a lot of magical energy coming from a ton of people or things surrounding the house. 20 at least, but they also seem weirdly light. I don't sense any human will or intellect. The flapping sounds seem to be coming from an enemy puppets.
なんだ、やっぱり来たんだ。今まで散々私から逃げ回ってたくせに、バーサーカーがいなくなったら飛んでくるんだもの。ほんと、現金なサーバントね。
Ilya speaks up amid the flapping sounds. She, unlike the three of us, is strangely calm. You know who that is, Ilya?
当然でしょ。私にわからないサーバントなんていないわ。外にいるのはキャスターで、何かいっぱい引き連れてきてる。
Oh,
なんだ、竜の葉でくくったゴーレムみたい。
right, her mini army type thing. Ilya is so casual about this, and just then the sound stops. I grab the wooden sword in the living room. Saber and Tosaka seem to be waiting for me to make a move. I leave Caster to Saber and protect the two here. Saber and I will both head out. I actually don't know which one to pick here. I think this is a good stopping point now, as silly as this is. I don't think it's going to get better from here. I was very concerned how long the night portion would last. So this isn't the worst way to end the stream. But yeah, I do plan to do a longer stream. I just don't know exactly when. Could be tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So we're ending on day 13. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna do, finish this night and then go to the next night on the next stream. But yeah, we'll see how long the next stream can be. I didn't think that I was gonna be finishing day 12 for as long as I ended up doing that. And then the beginning of day 13 was like redoing the Saber flashbacks that we had already mostly seen already, was almost the exact same dialogue. So hopefully we won't have that happen again, I guess. Yeah, thanks for watching. Feels like I'm getting real close to the end of the game, but yeah, definitely I'm gonna need at least two more 5-hour streams to really get really close to the end of the game. I think. I'm guessing there's gonna be like 20 days, but I don't know for sure. I'm kind of just like getting into visual novels fully now. I've kind of always just been on the periphery. Like after this, I'm not planning to stream the other routes. But like I am planning to do Ataraxia at some point. And there's 2 other visual novels that I'm interested in streaming, and maybe another one. So like I am trying to do more of them, but this is probably the longest one. The other ones I think are all shorter. I mean, even I'm just talking about this one route, never mind all 3 combined. Yeah. I mean, I'm um yeah, I can't start. Okay, I I can't tell you what kind of visual novel I'm interested in, but generally I don't like ones that have a lot of talking. I know that's silly to say. I know there's a lot of love story ones and drama ones, and I'm not really interested in those. But there's a lot of other type of visual novels that I guess you'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. Love definitely is a romance one. Um, but yeah, I guess you'll just have to wait and see on the other ones that I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be playing a lot of other games too. Just usually visual novels aren't super long like this. I feel like. Um. Oh, I haven't. I don't know. I don't know anything about Love connected to Attack on Titan. I have no idea about that one. But but yeah, I am hoping that I'll be able to play some shorter games after this. After I'm done doing Fate Stay Night. But yeah, I am definitely trying to amp up to play more visual novels. But yeah, I actually thought that this route wasn't going to take as long as it has. I think when I looked it up, I think it said it was like 30 hours, I think. And I think I have to check, but like I feel like I'm more than 30 hours into this route alone. And then yeah, it's like 30 hours each route or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, I would definitely drop out of a visual novel if it was boring. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't want to say that I'm only interested in action based visual novels, but I am like, as much as I do like Steins Gate, I would definitely never want to watch that in a visual novel style. Um, hmm. But yeah, there's a lot of indie visual novels that I'm kind of looking into also. So there's that too. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. And we'll see if the next stream can get through a pretty major part of the story. I think. Again, I feel like there's probably only like 50, like yeah, I could see this route ending by day 15 or 16. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'm a lot closer to the end than I'm thinking. But yeah, no spoilers or anything. So yeah, see you next time. See ya.